draft to Minneapolis during its quarterly meetings this week, according to ESPN. The 2027 draft this year is scheduled to take place in DC. And we've got game one of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA tonight when the Spurs take on the Thunder. They will tip a little after 5:30. Wildfire safety starts at home. It's important to harden your home and create defensible space around your property to break wildfire's path to your doorstep. Start by cleaning gutters and trimming trees to keep them 10 feet apart. Learn more at readyforwildfire.org.
All right, San Diego and Southern California. What's going on? This is hour one. Schaefer and Sliwa. Just your typical Monday, right?
Typical
America's
Monday, brother.
finest city. We're going to get into it all. Of course, Padres and Dodgers coming up. Padres coming off a sweep of the Seattle Mariners, but let's not bury the lead. One of our better giveaways of the year is today. It's a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, which is a staple in the county of San Diego. So we've got a 4-pack of tickets. The way to qualify to win those tickets is you need to use our talkback mic. And you may say, well, how do I do that? It's not.
I got you.
Ask me.
All the steps.
Ask me. How do you
John,
do that?
how do you use the talkback mic?
You open the, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that. Mm-hmm. You open the iHeartRadio app. If you don't have it, it's free.
Yep.
It's an amazing app. It really is. 850 stations on it, including 760. You open the app, search for San Diego Sports 760. There is then a red microphone icon.
Yep.
You click on it. You can leave anywhere from a 1 second to a 30-second talkback that we can then play on air. That's what you need to do to be qualified. And you need to answer this question. How much importance should we give this upcoming Padres Dodgers series? And again, to qualify, one of you that uses the talkback today is getting a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair.
Phenomenal.
We'll also play some of those talkbacks on air, including coming up at 3:15. So if you want to weigh in right now, how much importance should we give this upcoming Padres Dodgers series? Again, open the app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the little red microphone talkback icon, leave us a talkback, tell us how much importance you're putting on this week's series. Couldn't be easier, Alan.
Couldn't be easier. Phenomenal event right here in San Diego. You and I were talking about it last week. We're looking. Yeah. I'm gonna work my way there.
No, I think
but I'm gonna have to do okay. But it's gonna have to be. I think the way to do it. We'll go after the show, like 7 o'clock at night.
Perfect.
You said we're there till midnight.
That's insane. It's open till midnight. That's late.
I don't know how I'm staying up till midnight, but I think we make it happen that way. That's actually a perfect way to do it.
I think if we get there later in the day, we'll go on a Wednesday. Yeah. We'll get there later. And again, maybe one of our listeners will be there with us as well. You can qualify for the 4-pack of tickets. Open up that iPhone app, again, the iHeart app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the red microphone icon and tell us how much importance we should give this series. So, on one hand, we're looking forward to Padres Dodgers. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, we're looking back to a series sweep, convincing over the Mariners yesterday behind Lucas Giolito. The offense coming to life Saturday and Sunday. Gavin Sheets doing Gavin Sheets un-Padres-like things this weekend as well. So Padres coming in relatively hot. Dodgers have won 5 straight. And these two teams square off for the first time this year tonight at Petco.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to just kind of it's a good barometer, right? I think. I mean, for me, I'm coming off such a high over the weekend. Just what a 3-game set in Seattle. They went 6-0. No, 6-0. They went 6-0 against the Seattle Mariners over a span here of about a month or so.
It's crazy, right?
And I don't know how Seattle, their overall record, maybe 2-3 games below 500, but you just take the Padres out of the mix for Seattle. It's a decent record in the AL. What a weekend. And right. I think to just kind of have, and by the way, this just seems like it was all happening like this, to have the Padres start playing some really good baseball, to have the Dodgers kind of start going on a little bit of a run. I don't really care from a Dodger perspective. I think for the Padres, there's a little bit of, hey, just let's see where you stack up, because they've gone up against some really good pitchers. and they have not had this much success the way they did against the Mariners in that series. So I think it's going to be fun, obviously, down at Petco Park. I don't want to make too big of a deal of it. I just don't think that's beneficial to the Padres at all. At the end of the day, the date is May 18th, and the goal is not to beat the Dodgers. The goal is to get to a World Series. And if that team just happens to be in the way, then I'll treat it as it could be for any other team. The goal, at the end of the day, the goal is not to beat the Dodgers. The goal is to go try to win a World Series, something that San Diego's never done before. But the path clearly goes through that team. And tonight's going to be a fun matchup, and especially these next 3 games.
If you want to weigh in, by the way, you can also hit us up on the phone lines, 877-767-4760. The phone lines are open, or open up that talkback mic on the iHeartRadio app for a chance to win that 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. But again, 877-767-4760. This is what I know, is that it's hard for you or I, obviously, we can offer our opinions, right, on this. At the end of the day, the fans are going to determine the value of how they treat certain things, right? It's like I can say, I'll give you an example. I can say, man, this Cactus League game, trust me, you got to watch it. Here's why. People may or may not. There may be some people that agree with me. There may be others that don't. Or I can, hype up a regular season series or downplay a regular season series. At the end of the day, this is my 2 cents on it. Padres fans treat this series different than basically every other regular season series. And if you disagree, and Alan, you may, I'd love to hear from you. But it's not to say I want people to overreact or I want people to treat it like the World Series. I'm just telling you what I've witnessed with my own 2 eyes, basically since 2019 between these 2 teams. And to me, it just feels different. Maybe it shouldn't. Maybe that is a problem. The Padres have walked into that bear trap. I'm just telling you from a fandom perspective, from a San Diego sports fan perspective recently, and you know maybe better than I, because you're a lifelong San Diego sports fan. I'm just telling you right now, in this era of Padres Dodgers, it feels elevated based on every other series the Padres will play in regular season.
It is elevated. And I think in any sport, there's always a couple of matchups that are going to be a little different.
Sure.
I'm sure when you go find 2 teams in the NFL, I'm sure it's going to be just a little bit different when this squad plays this squad.
Bears, Packers.
Back in the day when it was the Chargers, it was Raiders was like, hey, that's the game.
Sure.
Now, it doesn't mean that you don't get 2 wins for winning that week.
Right. Good point.
Right?
Yeah, good point.
The Padres Dodgers, of course, it's a different series. Of course, it means different than when they got. Is it the A's coming up next? I think it's A's.
Too, yeah.
It's significantly different. The only thing that I would say is this. I would tell you that I don't think it's worked in San Diego's benefit to get so hyped up for this matchup against the Dodgers in the past. Because I think the issue with that is it becomes like that's the path. Like it becomes as if that's the goal. It's not the goal. And whether you were in 2022, you got past the Dodgers. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All I remember is not being able to bring it back against the Phillies when you go to Philadelphia tied 1 apiece. You lost 3 games in a row against the Philadelphia Phillies. That to me is as devastating as any Game 5 at Dodger Stadium. Like you didn't even get a chance to bring it back here, and you were as far as how far you were a lot closer to a World Series when you were playing the Phillies than when you were playing the Dodgers. It's impossible not to think that these games they're must-watch TV for San Diegans. They're important. They're this, they're that. But I do think, like, let's just say the Padres lost 2 of 3 against the Dodgers.
Sure.
All right, is the world going to end? Let's not act like the world's going to end.
I don't think it will.
Here's the one thing that we didn't do to start the show, which I already think is a mistake on our part.
I know what you're going to tell me.
What am I going to say?
You're going to say we haven't talked about the Mariners series.
That was a phenomenal weekend that equals the same, equals the same amount of wins as it would if you play the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, I agree. The premise is a good one. I guess my overall point is
they were so good this week.
They were really good this weekend, and they scored.
This weekend.
And Gavin Sheets had massive moments, and Ty France had 3 hits yesterday. We'll get into this weekend. We have plenty of time. But what I would say about what's about to play out over the next 3 days is that the reactions are so strong where when you take a 2-1 lead against the Mariners on, a broken up double play because of a play at second base, nobody really reacts to it. But what happens in this game when someone goes hard into second, which they've taken out of baseball, so a bad hypothetical, everyone's going to react strongly to it. I'm not saying we need the benches to clear like they did last year and Mike Schilt and Dave Roberts to be in each other's faces. I'm not even expecting that necessarily to play out, but
good for TV, good for sports talk radio. Sure.
Way of elevating for whatever reason. There's going to, trust me when I say this, something will play out. I expect it to happen today, but I guarantee it almost that over the next 3 days, something will play out in one of those 3 games that hasn't yet played out in the first 46 games of the year. I don't know why or how. I'm not predicting benches are clearing. That's not my point. There is a moment that's going to occur in these 3 games. We're going to say, wow, that's Padres Dodgers. It doesn't necessarily present itself before or after, but you're right. The Mariners, you're right, dude. I spent years here saying, don't worry about the division. This stuff is overrated. It's not 1991 when it's your only path to the postseason. So I do agree with that general premise. And it's not solely about the Dodgers, but it's hard for me to convince each and every Padres fan that's been playing this thing out over the years that that's the case.
And I don't think we have to. I think,
of course not.
I think it's just more, again, I'll go back to it. I've had plenty of times, I think it was last year, I got together with a group of buddies of mine, and it was on one of the nights that the Padres were playing the Dodgers.
Right.
And we're playing, we're all got together. We hadn't got together a while. We're playing poker, this, that. The game is on. And there came a point where I'm like, turn off the game, right? Like Padres weren't playing well. It kind of ruined. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't have the same impact if they lose to another squad, but it is different with the Dodgers. I'm not trying to pretend that the Padres and the Dodgers aren't what they are. What I think I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, I think for San Diego, if they lose tonight 4-1, the world's not going to end. When I walked into this season, it wasn't about the Dodgers. It was, where's Chicago? Where's Milwaukee? Where's Philadelphia? Where's Atlanta? Where's St. Louis? The Padres' goal is to make the postseason in the best position that they can. Some of these games, obviously, you're going to face include the Dodgers, but I'm also not, I don't want to fall into this trap, because I have fallen into this trap, that every time they play the Dodgers, it's like one game in the regular season, no one can breathe. That ain't going to help. One series. Now, if you get to the playoffs, all bets are off. After that, I'm with you. And there's nothing more that you can see past, obviously the sign in front of you. I'll tell you a story. At some point, I'll tell you the story of, I'll tell you the story of the show. With the 2024, like, you want to talk about nervousness, I'll tell you, I don't even think I'm proud of the story, but I'll tell you about it as the show progresses.
No, you're going to tell us on the other side is what you're going to do. In addition, if you want to qualify for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, an amazing prize, open the iHeartRadio app right now, search for San Diego Sports 760, click on the red talkback mic, and tell us how much importance you're putting on this Padres Dodgers series. We'll play your talkbacks coming up throughout the course of the show. And one of you that uses the talkback mic is winning that family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Stories from Alan as we get ready for Padres and Dodgers. Plus, who is the best hitter in this series on either team? That's next. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, so Schaefer and Sliwa, and again, this is what we're looking for. We're asking for talkbacks today, right, for a chance to qualify to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair.
You asked, and people responded.
Yeah, exactly. We said, open the app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the red microphone icon, and tell us how much importance we should put on this Padres Dodgers series.
Yep.
Let's take a listen to one of the talkbacks that's rolled in.
This is Josh in the North County. The only way you can say that this Dodgers series isn't of the utmost importance is if you're trying to minimize your disappointment when they go 0-3 or 0-4 or however many games it is.
I want you to respond to that.
I disagree. Yeah, I disagree completely. Listen, again, if I asked you before the season started, what's the goal of the San Diego Padres? What's the goal? I think we're going to have similar answers. The goal is to get in the dance. That is, if you say, well, it's to win a division. Have you seen what's happened over the last 15 years? I don't think winning the division is probably realistic. Now, listen, they're a half game out. Can anything happen? Sure. You're going to need a lot of things to happen. The minimizing my disappointment, okay, maybe I don't have the most confidence that when the Padres take on the Dodgers, that, hey, it's going to go the Padres way. No, I could look back at history and know how this series has worked out in the past. Even if the Padres got one, it kind of doesn't matter. At the end of the day, are you getting to the World Series or are you not? Dodgers have obviously been knocking on the door since basically Fred McCourt was out and since Mark Walter took over and his group took over. I don't look at it that way. If they lost 3 games in a row to the Dodgers, is the season over?
No.
If they won 3 games in a row, we could feel good about ourselves. We could talk about, man, what a beautiful stretch. You got the series against the Mariners. Oh my God, they're 13 games over 500. Did they just build themselves a little bit of a cushion? Like, yes, there's an extreme both ways or the on both sides of it. But the only time I want to hear people on pins and needles, like, I'm going to throw up because this game is coming up, is go give me a game 5 in 2024. And I'm with you on that. Or not even game 5. You go game 1 anytime they obviously face each other.
I agree with you in terms of, by the way, either of those scenarios you laid out doesn't make or break anything. Now, people will feel a certain way. If the Padres sweep this series and beat Yoshinobu Yamamoto and beat Shohei Ohtani,
it's a big deal.
The way people will feel is like anything is possible. Now, there's a long way to go.
But can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
Let's say they play the Atlanta Braves. They won 3 in a row against Atlanta. Atlanta's got the best record in Major League Baseball. Is that not a big deal?
Huge deal.
Would you not feel a certain way about that as well?
You would.
Granted, it's still different with Yamamoto, Shohei, and the Dodgers.
No, your point is valid.
I get it.
On the opposite side of it, though, to your point, if the Dodgers come here and sweep, the whole here we go again, woe is me, can't get over the hump, is going to be the take and the reaction. But I will be here, and I think you will as well, to lift people up in that scenario and be like, this season isn't over. Was it a good series? No, it was a terrible series in that hypothetical. That's an awful series. They expect more from themselves. But I would never sit here in the current state of baseball with 12 playoff teams and 162 games and tell you anything is won or lost right now. That's my point.
It's simple. You know, the Dodgers are who everybody's chasing. We might get work stoppage,
right,
because of the Dodgers.
Right, we've talked about that,
right? Yeah. Like there's a lot of scenarios that are playing out because of the Dodgers, and the reason why it means so much to San Diego is because they're in the way, right? So if this was the San Francisco Giants, you would have, let's just switch teams. It's the Giants who were dominating. By the way, they went through a stretch where they were, but the Padres weren't good.
Yeah.
They weren't good, so it wasn't like it didn't mean as much.
Right.
When the Padres got competitive and relevant and spent money and got the stars, it's the Dodgers that are right in front of them every single year.
How much of it, though, and then I need to hear your story.
Yeah.
That you had teased a few minutes ago.
Not a good story.
How much of it, though, is geographic proximity?
As in,
if the big bad bully that had won, let's say, 3 of the last 5 World Series was the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay.
Or the Miami Marlins. Terrible example. But, I mean, someone that just is a world away.
Yeah. I could give you some examples.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up a Charger fan, we hated the Patriots.
Yeah.
Couldn't get past
and of course, there's reasons. Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't get past them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yes, it would have been bigger if the Raiders were dominating or something along those lines.
Right.
So I think geography obviously has a lot to do with it, but I think it's deeper. It's deeper. Let me give you kind of another one. Like one of the worst days, if not the worst day in San Diego sports history,
is
when Dean Spanos's greedy, selfish, no heart for the city and the brand that helped build his brand left and went where? Where'd he go?
To Los Angeles?
Like, there's levels to it now that I think has started. That has a little bit to do with it. The other piece of it, because it is in LA, because you have no other squads that are here. One of those squads is in Los Angeles. There's a lot of ties. You face the Dodgers X amount of times over these. You have to go through them. So a lot of it, listen, it's really at the end of the day, there's also kind of a compliment to that's the criteria that they've set up in LA.
Right.
The bar is like, if you want one, you got to get through them. And we happen to be, geographically in the NL West, the closest team to where they're located outside, of course, the Angels. You got to go through them.
You're going to share your story on the other side, but I wanted to say this, usually a rivalry, everyone understands this. It's right. Typically it's not one team holding the cards, hence the rivalry. When you think Michigan, Ohio State, there are eras. Mm-hmm. When you think Duke, North Carolina, there are eras. The recent history of Padres Dodgers has been a good series on field. Now, do the Dodgers have the upper hand? Yeah, they have the upper hand on the sport. But it's not just us. Here's a distinction I want to make in recent history that I've seen play out. It's one thing for San Diegans to be like, there are rivals, look at us. But now I read like Dylan Hernandez and I read other columnists in the LA Times, and they're writing during a Dodgers-Giants series about how their true rival is playing south in San Diego. I'm not writing that. I'm not saying it. Columnists, beat reporters are saying that. And why are they saying that? Because they're watching with their own two eyes the way these series have been played and gone back and forth with each other over the last 5 or 6 years. That's where I think it has elevated. Do I recognize the upper hand belongs in Los Angeles? I'm not a moron. Mm-hmm. And anyone that thinks they don't have the upper hand in this rivalry would be fooling themselves, to put it mildly. But I do think there's been a moment in time where something has changed, where it has taken on the dynamics of a real rivalry.
Yeah, and listen, there's the Machado piece of it.
Yeah.
There's the playoff game that played out in 2024 with Jerks and Profar and Tatis, right? So there are also some good storylines. There's the Mike Schilt, Dave Roberts that went down. Yeah. I actually, at one point, we should have this conversation about Stammen, because I think Stammen, if you listen to some of his post game and you listen to kind of his style, I think there's a benefit to how he treats day to day that might benefit the Padres versus the Dodgers when it comes to all the hoopla that comes with it.
I like that. You're going to share your story on the other side. In addition, get your talkbacks in for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Open the iHeart app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the red talkback microphone and tell us how much importance you're putting on this Padres Dodgers series. We'll play your talkbacks. One of you is going to win that prize. Stay with us here. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
The support is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The Padres and Dodgers are getting set for game 1 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto going for the Dodgers and Michael King going for the Padres. First pitch is set for 6:40. The NFL announced today they are going to award the 2028 draft to Minneapolis during its quarterly meetings this week, according to ESPN. This year's draft is scheduled to take place in Washington, D.C. And tonight we've got game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA when the Spurs travel to Oklahoma City. Tip of that game will be a little bit after 5:30. Choosing the right home service company isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about trusting who's in your home. That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
All right, San Diego Sports 760, really good show lined up. Matt Moreno covers the Dodgers for Dodger Blue. He'll join us at 4 p.m. The LA Perspective as the Padres get ready for the Dodgers. Kevin Acee at 5:30, Darnay Tripp at 5 p.m. We're asking for your talkbacks. How much importance are you putting on this Padres-Dodgers series? One of you that uses the talkback mic on the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, is winning a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair.
It's great.
Let's play another one, Brent, if we have it. This is one of our listeners from just a few moments ago on the talkback mic.
Hey, guys. Marcus from Oceanside. This absolutely is a huge game with the Dodgers. This is where all of our secondary guys are showing that they can handle everything when our 3 stars are down. And not to mention, it's just a big rivalry. So it is that big of a deal. Thank you, everybody.
All right. So there's the talkback mic. What you're pointing at me because of what he's saying?
No, I'm saying you kind of react to it. By the way, thank you for calling or thank you for doing talkback. Phenomenal stuff right there.
And again, use the talkback. Mm-hmm. You got a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Open the app, search for 760, click on the talkback microphone. Listen, that's the beauty of Sports Talk Radio and the beauty of sports. Everyone's going to have their opinion on it. And Padres Dodgers speaks for itself. Whatever that means, it just speaks for itself, which is where we are in this current series between these two sides.
I like what he said specifically about some of those other guys. How do they look in this situation? I mean, I don't need to see Gavin Sheets ball out tonight or in this series. I don't need to see Andujar ball out in this series. I don't need to see Ty France. These guys have done so much so far this year. Yep. You were saying something about the lineup, which I think is significant. You were talking a little bit about, but man, at some point I went on this morning and a Dodger podcast had me on to talk about the Padres. Same thing here, right? And I don't know if they truly understand how bad the Stars have been. You know, there was a promo. What was the game on yesterday? It was on Peacock.
And NBC.
They had Julio Rodriguez. And they had Tatis in the promo. I was like,
for what?
Take Tatis off of there.
They're right.
Tatis has not earned the right to be on a promo right now for the San Diego Padres. I'm just being honest with you. He hasn't done anything so far, and neither have a lot of these other batters. But anyways, go back to the callback there of him just saying that it's a chance to see how these other guys do against some of the elite. It ain't on their back. Right. I mean, they've carried the San Diego Padres. Padres are 10 games over 500. They're coming off a sweep in Seattle against some good starting pitching.
Yep.
And they demolished the Mariners pitching on Saturday and Sunday. And none of that really had to do with the Stars again.
No, put Gavin Sheets, to your point, on the promo. Put Gavin Sheets has a 900 OPS. Gavin Sheets is the guy last week we were clamoring for. Hey, Padres, where is your guy that is slugging? Where's your Munetaki Murakami? Where's your, again, easier said than done, I get it. Where's your Kyle Schwarber? Where's your Aaron Judge? And for a moment in time, 9 home runs is a big number for the Padres right now.
Sheets is demolishing the ball over the weekend too.
And I do like, and then you're sharing your story now.
Yeah.
But I do like what Craig Stammen has done, and this is very anti-Mike Schilt, who was very consistent with his lineup. He's a tinkerer, Craig Stammen has proven to be, and he's now splitting up Tatis, Machado, and Merrill. And he's doing it for a second straight day today against the Dodgers, where it's Tatis leading off, then Andujar and Sheets, then Machado. Then he splits Machado and Merrill with Bogarts in there. So he's splitting. The big three have become like the small three, and he's splitting them up.
Smart.
And over the weekend, it worked. Tell us your story about the Dodgers and the Padres. Are you going back to 2024 playoffs?
Yeah, but this is going to be, I'm going to fall. Everything I just said, it goes against.
That's fine. That's fine.
But postseason, I think, is different. Listen, I mean, 2024, you genuinely thought like,
I thought they're going to win the World Series.
Might have a shot at this thing.
I honestly, by the way, time I did.
The moment for me where it was they might have a shot at this thing was after game 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, we're in this thing.
Yeah.
So, at the time, and I'm still kind of back and forth, I still spend a decent amount of time in Pasadena and, obviously down in San Diego. So I'm probably 15 minutes from Dodger Stadium.
Sure.
I'm going to game 1. So I bought tickets to game 1, go to game 1. That's the Machado hits the 3-run homer in the first. They freaking pitched to Shohei on the bottom of the first. Shohei, it's a 3-run homer, 3-3. Yeah. Anyways, I know we don't have to go back to all that. I decided after it was 2 apiece, I'm like, well, what do I do here?
Game 5.
I'm 15 minutes away from Dodger Stadium. It's game 5. But brother, I couldn't like I remember my girls telling me, I'm like, this is Sunday morning. I wake up and I was so damn nervous. Again, it goes against what I'm talking about here with the Padres and the Dodgers.
Yeah, but it's game 5.
But this is what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is let's stop making these regular season games and everything you do. Can I tell you one of my biggest pet peeves?
What's that?
In San Diego,
okay,
is when people want to take a snapshot of the standings and they're a half game in front of the Dodgers. I'm like, I don't
and it's like May 11th
care that they're a half game in front. That means they're just taking up all that real estate.
You'll
know what
see
I'd
it
like
tonight,
you to
by
do?
the way,
I know you will.
if they win.
You're right.
Yep.
But I'll go back to it.
Yep.
So I had a decision to make. I'm like, all right, what am I going to do here for game 5? Am I going to this game or not?
Gotta go.
Oh, I couldn't.
You're going.
No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Oh, you didn't go?
No, I couldn't do it.
This is why they lost.
Let me tell you how it gets even worse. I bought a ticket.
No, you didn't. And then didn't go?
I said, I'm only going. Bro, I don't want to go see game 5 at Dodger Stadium if they lose the game.
You can't look at it like that.
I know, you're right. And if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't have done that. I couldn't do it.
Do you still have the ticket stub or are we kind of in a digital
somewhere in my email
or
like whatever?
Yeah,
it's in there.
Yeah.
So here was my plan. This is how nervous and I'm like, because listen, everything that happens, you start like, oh my God, are we going to get our first one? So everything. SCFC last year. Right. It was like,
are they going to win it?
Yeah. Oh my God, they win it?
Yep.
San Diego stay in the Final 4.
Are they going to do it?
Oh my God. This has more to do. It's like a larger thing for San Diego. You only have so many squads.
No doubt.
So my game plan was this. I was going to buy a ticket for game 5. And
how much was that, by the way?
It wasn't anything crazy. Okay. No, it wasn't even that. It was just like get in
All right.
and whatever the case was. Nobody else. This was just a solo. This was a solo job. Okay.
Right, I'm going in. Yeah.
If the scenario was right, I'm like, all right, the only way I'm going in is if we got to have a lead. I'll go in the 6th or 7th inning, but we have to have a lead. I'm not watching. I don't want to go there and watch. Have you been to Dodger Stadium?
Yes,
have you been to games? Have you been to Dodger Padres there?
No, I don't think I have been to a Dodger Padre
Let me
game.
first say this. Let me encourage every San Diegan. You should go to a Dodger Padre game.
Right.
You should.
The way that they come down here, you should go up there.
Even if it's not that way, just go up and watch your squad.
Yeah.
Whether you hate the park, the traffic, all that stuff, just go watch San Diego. That's it. Just go watch the Padres play. And it's a historical place from a baseball perspective. So I basically waited. Who was it? Teoscar hit the first one?
Or was it Kike?
Or Kike hit the first one and Teoscar hit the second one?
Hold on. So where were you waiting from? Home? Because you were 15 minutes away? You weren't in a car?
No,
in the.
Yeah, I'm home.
So let me get this straight.
But I did get in my car at one point. And I did around
to consider going?
Yeah.
So you were waiting to see if the Padres were leading.
I was a wreck.
To go into Dodger Stadium in game 5.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I think my girl's the only one that knows that story.
No, now everyone does.
That's fine. They could know it.
That's amazing because here we are 18 months later, no big deal. Now it's different. I get it.
Because if they're in the postseason again and they're going up against the Dodgers, I mean that's just.
Would you do the exact same thing?
No, you know what I would do? I would just say you got to if they lose, take it on the chin and call it a day.
So you'd go this time.
I
if
would
there's
go
a
this
game
time. 5,
Petco or Dodger Stadium, if you happen to be there, for
Yeah, I
example,
would go.
you would go.
I couldn't go in Toronto. I swear on my life, I was like, I can't. Because there was the two sides of it. There was the euphoria, of if you won it, and then there was just this. And I was just there a few games ago,
like game 2,
where people are running their mouth. You know, you're wearing your Padre gear, whatever. It's okay. It comes with the territory. It's all good. I couldn't do it.
I will say this, just in my time covering the Padres, that's about as disappointing of a night as I remember. That 5th game, because of the way they played or felt like they played, just nothing.
Yeah.
Very silent exit, which happens in an exit in a sport like baseball. It's like
no,
great.
but that one was different.
It was different.
Darvish was
he
phenomenal.
But it's almost like I don't know, did they lose the series in game 4? Like once it got back to
I don't
LA,
think they
the series
did.
was over?
I don't think they did. I think a lot of people made a big deal about game 4. And in my head, I'm like, what are you going to tell me? Like, even when the Padres went up 2-1, so the Dodgers can't win 2 in a row?
Exactly.
Of course they can. But it's how they went out.
Right.
Like, I think what you've said this a couple of times. Basically, after Tatis hit that home run off of Buehler.
In game 3.
The series was like, from that point on, because Teoscar had hit a grand slam, and then it was like a one-run game the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And like, it kind of felt like, wow, that wasn't the ass kicking that we thought it was, because at one point it was 6-1 and it turns into 6-5. Anyways, long story short, it's that they were almost never a threat in games. They were never a threat in 4 and 5. Like, there was also never a moment in game 5 where there was real pressure on Yamamoto and the Dodgers. There just wasn't.
All right, let's get to some of your talkbacks. How much importance are you putting on this Padres-Dodgers series?
Couldn't go.
I can't believe you didn't go to game 5 and you had to take it. That is insane.
I drove around in that area too. I was like in the heart of LA.
That's an incredible story.
I just can't do it.
Matt Moreno from Dodger Blue will join us at 4 p.m. The Dodger Perspective. Darnay Tripp and Kevin Acee at 5 and 5:30 respectively. Use that talkback mic. Open the iHeart app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Tell us how much importance you're putting on this Padres-Dodgers series for a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. We'll announce a winner coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. Stay with us. Schaefer and Sliwa. Okay, here's what we're doing on the other side. Who is the best hitter in this series? Both sides. Who is the best hitter heading into this series between the Padres and the Dodgers? That's next. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, I do. That was some really good, by the way. Some good stories there by the two of us. All right, San Diego Sports 760 has 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday with the Bonus Bucks contest. Listen every hour, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. Listen for the nationwide keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up soon on San Diego Sports 760.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa with you. Again, we're asking you to open up that iHeart app, search for 760, click on the talkback mic, and tell us how much importance you're putting on this Padres Dodgers series. A number of you have taking us up on that. By the way, one of you is going to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair.
I almost want to go in the other room, just do my own talk back and be like, hey, it's just another series. They're 162 games.
Show us how easy it is. You could do it at the break.
And then, whether they win this series or not, Padres are looking good.
I want you to do a talk back.
You
do a talk back. I'll do a talk back at a break.
All right.
All right.
I'll do that. I like that.
And let's see if we know it's us. We'll use like a decoy voice.
Okay.
All right. We can do that.
I'm going to be, I can't tell you.
Don't tell me who you're going to be. I think I'm
Vinny from Jersey.
Do we have any more talkbacks, Brent, we can play? Let's get to another one of our talkbacks here.
This is Vinny from the Bronx.
Exactly. This is, again, off the talkback mic. How much importance should we give this Padres-Dodgers series?
I think for me, why it's a little more important is mathematically, right, on the wins and losses, you're creating distance between either which Dodgers or Padres team wins. But then I think also the path to the postseason is a little easier if you win the division. Would you argue that? I know it doesn't guarantee you anything, especially if you're one of the teams that get the bye if you win the division. But I feel like your path is a little easier, especially if you're the home team playing in that wild card series.
All right, so the idea that they're magnified,
mathematical.
Yeah, mathematical. Yeah. Like every win is a loss for your.
But I think he's also referring to that's if the division's in play.
Right.
And I listen, I got a difficult time thinking it will be in play. You never know. It's just I'm going again off of recent history. When it's so early to do so, but I do find myself doing this. Listen, I always check every single night. I'm like, all right, where are we looking in the standings? Dodgers win? Did they lose? Cubs win? Did they lose? Brewers win? Did they lose?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's natural to do that. And listen, I'm not going to BS you and pretend that I'm obviously not looking to see if the Dodgers, what are they doing in the mix of what the Padres
Isn't it weird how like the Padres earlier
this
month?
Maybe, it's identical.
Yeah, it's like the Padres lose 6 of 7, the Dodgers struggle. The Padres sweep a series, the Dodgers have now won 5 straight. If I asked you this question, which I've teased a couple of times.
Yeah.
Who is the best hitter in this series? Is it so far-fetched in real time to say Gavin Sheets right now?
I'd have to look.
And because now again, it's like look up and down these two teams, lineups. And of course, we know history. I'm not saying, Gavin Sheets is a better hitter than Shohei Ohtani. I didn't say that. But
we should clip that. We should run that.
But what I am saying is in real time, Sheets could make a case for being among the more dangerous hitters in these lineups. The Dodgers don't have a 1,200 OPS guy right now, thankfully. We'll see what happens in the series. The Padres,
who's balling out for the Dodgers right now.
You know who's been good? To be honest with you,
I haven't.
Paz has been good. I
saw that. Paz has been good.
Max Muncy, of course, has been good. He's hit 12 home runs. For the Padres, I mean, look no further than guys like Sheets and Andujar France.
I know.
And I think I'm putting Sheets.
Castellanos has had some moments, sure.
But Sheets has just been red hot. And when he gets in these stretches, he can kind of carry you for a week. He proved that last year, and I think he's proving that right now.
Biggest draw right now, Gavin Sheets or Shohei?
To the box office. No, of course, that conversation goes without saying.
Hey, listen, I'm just saying that if you're Shohei, I'm looking kind of looking behind me a little bit.
I'm saying this, the way Sheets is playing.
Oh, he's been amazing.
You do feel as if he is capable of homering in any game, just for this moment in time.
It's so common especially in baseball, when some of these guys just get going, right? And we've seen this, like Machado goes through stretches where the guy's obviously just tearing the ball.
Yep.
And we see it all. Kyle Schwarber has how many home runs? I think he's got 21.
20
or 21. The day that we were watching, it might have been on Friday. He had 2 that night when we were both sitting here like, well, where's he at? Where's he at?
He's at 230 with 20 home runs.
20 home runs. Okay.
20.
And when he mashes, he mashes. So Sheets is in, one of those modes right now. And remember, don't forget, Sheets has also saved the Padres in that game against the Brewers, hits that 3-run homer in the 9th with 2 outs. And let's go back here for a quick second, because there has been, and I listen, your call on whatever you want to call in regards to the best hitter of this series. I mean, I know Shohei has struggled, but he's probably the greatest player I've ever seen in my life. But that series against the Mariners, 7-4, actually, no, started off on Friday, the 2-0 win on Friday, the 7-4 win on Saturday, 8-3 on Sunday. We both felt a certain way after that Brewers series. And I think we were starting to say, hey, they're 6-9 over their last 15. And I didn't have the best taste in my mouth. And their high point, we're like, it's 19-9.
Right.
They're 10 games over 500 now.
Yep.
So they got right back to it. They took on a good competitive Seattle team. I know is not playing the best baseball right now, but to get the Padres back in this spot where you can talk about these two teams going at it. There isn't a 3, 4, 5 game difference in the standings. It's interesting that just the type of conversation we're having on Friday, offense finally wakes up the last couple of days, maybe has something to do with, mixing in the lineup. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but this is it's made for a fun setup for this series because of what they did in Seattle, and there's some momentum that's being built.
And for those that would say, John, come on, Gavin Sheets, recency bias, the top slugging percentages in this series by player. Number 1, heading in, Dalton Rushing, 575 slug. He has 7 home runs. Now, he doesn't play every day because he's a catcher. Now, not that Gavin Sheets has played every game this year either for the Padres, but he's played in 42 games, actually. His slugging percentage, I told you, Rushing is 575. Number 2 in the series is not Ohtani, is not, obviously, it's not these big 3 of the Padres. It's Gavin Sheets at 556. So, again, I think he's deserved to be in the conversation. I get it. A lot of it has been recent. Milwaukee, what he did this weekend in Seattle. But I like riding the back of a hot hitter.
Okay.
Like, he is hot. If that continues this week, that bodes incredibly well.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do they got any shot these next 3 games of doing some damage without the same players that we've been talking about all season that are continuing to disappoint? Like, can
they win this series?
Can they win 2 of 3 based off of how they've been winning these games?
Can they win 2 of 3 if those 3 combine?
And Yamamoto and Shohei are part of your pitching staff?
Good question. Right?
And what do they have? Is it King?
They have King. They have Griffin Canning.
And then Vasquez.
And they have Vasquez. So they're throwing. I mean, King and Vasquez.
Yeah. King. I'll take King on any night.
Dude, this matchup, King Yamamoto is an incredible pitching matchup. So is Vasquez Ohtani, truthfully.
Sure.
And Ohtani's numbers have spoken for themselves on the mound. The guy has been unbelievable.
But to go back to
I don't
question,
know the answer to it.
I don't think they can.
Maybe not.
And I think this continues to be the conversation about the Padres. By the way, anybody jumping on now that's like, the Pod, would we see some clip with Rosenthal? I'm like, Rosenthal, you're only giving the Padres a compliment right now because they're about to play the Dodgers. But here's the reality of it. They're 10 games over 500, and their stars have been nothing but like the most disappointing pieces you can possibly think of. I mean, as non-star-ish as you can possibly be. Can you take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers if Machado and Tatis and Jackson Merrill, these guys aren't doing anything? I don't think you can.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. Against a more complete team like LA, that wouldn't be easy. All right, let's catch up with Matt Moreno. He covers the Dodgers for Dodger Blue. Let's get that Dodger perspective. They've won 5 straight. They are in San Diego to open a 3-game series coming up here tonight. Also, we want your talkbacks for a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. How much importance are you putting on this Padres Dodgers series? Open the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the talkback mic. We'll play your talkbacks on air. One of you will win that 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. But Matt Moreno, Dodger Blue, joining us next. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The Dodgers are downtown getting ready for their series with the Padres down at Petco Park. It's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto going for LA and Michael King on the hill for the Friars. The first pitch is set for 6:40. The NFL is expected to award the 2028 draft to Minneapolis during its quarterly meetings this week, according to ESPN. The 2027 NFL draft this year is scheduled to take place in DC. And we have game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA tonight when the Spurs take on the Thunder. They will tip a little after 5:30. Choosing the right home service company isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about trusting who's in your home. That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
All right, hour 2, San Diego Sports 760. Obviously, the Padres and Dodgers meet for a first time in 2026 coming up tonight at Petco Park at 6:40. We've got you covered.
It's a must win.
As everyone agrees, it is a must win.
If we lose this one, it's over.
The season would be over. We've got you covered for the next 2 hours because Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, will join us from the UT at 5:30. Darnay Tripp will be in the clubhouse this afternoon from NBC7. He'll join us at 5. And right now, to get that Dodger perspective, great to have Matt Moreno from Dodger Blue with us right now on San Diego Sports 760 and Schaefer and Sliwa. Matt, we appreciate you taking time for us. I'm just curious right now how the Dodgers in general have, I mean, obviously it's been a bit of a start and stop start for their season, but they've won 5 straight. What has played out so well over the course of the last handful of days, including against the Angels? And thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. I appreciate you guys allowing me to come on and talk a little Dodgers for your audience. You mentioned it, it was definitely, it's been stop and go for them. Obviously got off to a pretty good start this season and a couple loss here and there, and then a four-game losing streak at one point. And now, they lost the first 2. They came out of a Braves series, losing that series, and they lost the first 2 to the Giants, who seem to have their number this year. And, here in LA, the world is ending and what's going on, even though, it's still only May. They've responded. And I think it was really a matter, these last 5 games that they've won has been their offense. And it obviously helps, I think, to play an Angels team that doesn't have quality pitching, and that might even be putting it nicely. But, you still have to play the team in front of you. You still have to go out there and be able to, get the hits and score all the different runs and things of that nature. And sure, the Angels contributed to it with some sloppy play, but you look at somebody like Shohei Ohtani. He had been, in probably one of the longest flops of his career, I would argue. And he found, they gave him the 2 nights off from a lineup perspective. He did start as a pitcher during one of those games, but he is back and he seems to be in a much better space. And I think it's just the offense really is, kind of started to click a little bit better than what we had seen the first, or not the first, but the 10, to 14 games before this current winning streak.
Matt Moreno taking some time here to join us, breaking things down from a Dodger perspective with Dodger Blue. Padres obviously taking on the Dodgers tonight, 3-game set at Petco Park. Matt, what's the, in a handful of years that I was in Los Angeles, it seemed like the approach a few years back was win as many games as you possibly can in the regular season. And clearly I think that's changed here. What do you think is the goal of the Dodgers in the regular season? Obviously that's important for us being in the NL West. It doesn't feel like they're trying to get 100+ wins or anything like that. What typically do you think is the game plan now in the regular season?
Honestly, just be healthy by the time the playoffs get here. And they do go into each year, Dave Roberts says he's addressing the team and then he'll come out and speak with media at spring training and say, yes, our goal is to win the NL West. That's kind of the first goal, at least publicly. And I think that is true. But really, if you gave them true serum and you said, hey, what are you guys worried about the most? It's just being healthy. And if they get to October as a, wild card team, as we've seen, in the past, and they'll take their chances as long as they've got their healthy roster, and they'll go. October has proven, whether it's with the Dodgers or just in the history of Major League Baseball, there's been some randomness certainly mixed in a lot of times, and I think the Dodgers have recognized that.
Matt Moreno, Dodger Blue, with us right now. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. We often hear about this series, this opponent, this quote-unquote rivalry from the Padre perspective. We're in San Diego. We talk to Padres fans each and every day. You cover the Dodgers. How do Dodger fans, by and large, look at what's playing out in recent history in this series between these two teams?
I think it's interesting. I think fans will try to, from the Dodgers perspective, will try to downplay it a little bit. But then, we will see if the Dodgers, if they go down to San Diego and they win 2 out of 3, if they sweep or whatever the case may be, if it's a positive outcome for the Dodgers, their fans will certainly let Padres fans know about it. And, if it goes the other way in favor of San Diego, then I think you'll see Dodgers fans say, oh, it's only May. You guys are, celebrating for no reason. So I think some animosity has certainly built up over the last few years. It was always kind of, I think the Padres were, the team that down in San Diego, the Dodgers can go down there and their fans travel really well and this and that. But, meeting in the postseason, obviously the Dodgers losing, getting eliminated by the Padres one of the years in the NLDS, I think started to sort of shift things. Honestly, it tends to be results driven, I think, in a lot of the cases.
Yeah, it's funny you put it that way, because there is a little bit. Listen, unless the San Diego Padres go to a World Series, win a World Series, and if they happen to go through the Dodgers, then it's still going to be one-sided to an extent. Clearly, everybody's chasing the Dodgers. Matt, I'm curious to get your opinion on this, and I know it's a lot of the conversation. I don't think I've ever asked a Dodger fan this, or somebody that covers the Dodgers or is close as you are. What do Dodger fans make of a potential lockout? What do Dodger fans like? The reason why I'm asking the question, it feels like there could be a complete shift in the way baseball is operating down the road. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, for all I know. But do people understand the argument and the conversation of like, hey, it's really difficult to compete when you have that market that has this many assets and gets the ability to go sign player after player? Like, is there perspective on that, or is it? And I don't blame a fan for doing it. If a fan is saying like, I don't care how we win, if we got to go spend $500 million, we'll go spend $500 million. Is there perspective on just the Dodgers' role in a potential lockout in the future of baseball?
Not necessarily, and in some fairness, I think it's their right to, as you mentioned, from a fan perspective, like, yeah, they're not always going to worry about that to begin with, but two, like we just said, a few minutes ago, the Dodgers have had the best record in baseball a handful of years, and what has it gotten them, right? Like, they've been eliminated in the NLDS by the Padres, by the Diamondbacks, by the Braves in the NLCS, and so it isn't as though, hey, they've put together these super teams and they've had the best record and they've rattled off 5-6 Worlds in a row. And look, I think a lot of this certainly is the most talented roster they've had. I do recognize that, and I think that perspective needs to be acknowledged. But I think fans will push back and say nothing has been guaranteed to them. And you look at last year, I know the end result is what a lot of people ultimately remember as it was a back-to-back for the Dodgers. A bounce here, a bounce there, and the Blue Jays end up winning that World Series. And I think we're sort of having a different conversation. Then the perspective and the narrative at that point is, oh, the Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani and he still choked with them too, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and so on and so forth. And Blake Snell tried going there and it didn't work. Like, I think that would be what, is pinned on the Dodgers. So from what we've seen, from what I have definitely seen from fans is, look, the Dodgers are getting blamed for a lockout that frankly was probably going to happen regardless of last year's outcome and whether or not they've spent, again, heading into this season. So from, again, the fans' perspective, I think are, hey, yeah, let's load up this team. We're getting blamed. Might as well, try and go, quote unquote, buy a World Series this year.
By the way, and I'll clarify one thing too. It's the Dodgers are playing within the rules. So it's not like the Dodgers have done, the question would be, are the rules established? Are they, fair for equal opportunity for all these other markets, but that's not a Dodger problem to worry about. That's obviously an MLB problem to worry about.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah. Matt Moreno's with us right now in San Diego Sports 760, covers the Dodgers for Dodger Blue. I'm curious from your perspective, is it surprising to see the Padres 10 games over 500 and then just look at the numbers and the Tatis thing is a national story, having not homered. Machado's hitting under 200. That's never been who he is. Jackson Merrill's obviously still a young player, but looks like a shell of the player he's been at parts of the last 2 years. Is it surprising to see them 10 over with those struggles?
Oh, it absolutely is. And I think it's a testament to the rest of the team. I know Alan came on our YouTube show earlier this morning and was kind of discussing the Padres' ability, to pull out some late wins. And I think that is as much as there is, a little bit of luck involved in there, like being a clutch performer, I believe there's a skill set and a trait to that. And so they deserve some recognition for being in this position. As you mentioned, Fernando Tatis. Yeah, I think that's, one of the biggest stories so far in baseball right now. I will tell you there's a little bit of an expectation from the Dodgers side that Tatis is going to hit at least 6 home runs in these next 3 games. So, maybe that's going to quickly shift for you guys down there. But yeah,
Matt, we've been saying that for a month and a half. I think you're fine. I think you're okay.
But yeah, you look at the stats and the key players and things like that. It certainly doesn't add up. But like I said, the other side of that coin is, hey, credit to, the rest of the roster kind of finding a way to pull everybody forward right now.
Matt, can you talk as far as the pitching matchups over these next couple of days? Just, I haven't got a chance to watch it, and I'm curious to get your perspective. What has been Yamamoto's season been like? What has Shohei on the mound? I know we've seen some of his numbers. What have they been like from a pitching perspective?
Yeah, so with Yamamoto, he's in a little bit of a rut right now, if that's what you want to call it. Maybe that's too strong of a word, but he went into the season, I think, as one of the potential Cy Young Award favorites, and he hasn't fully been able to sustain, some consistent success right now. He did mention after his last start that he felt like things were close, but it was strange. I mean, he gave up 3 home runs to the Giants first time in his career, and 2 of them, or all of them, I believe. I know definitely 2 were to the number 8 and 9 hitters in the lineup. So just uncharacteristic things for him. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the talent and the potential is certainly there to shut down any sort of lineup on a given night. And with Ohtani, I think what's interesting is the Dodgers pushed him back to Wednesday for this series, and they flipped him and to get some extra rest from when he last pitched. As of now, the plan, Dave Roberts has said, is probably for him to be in the lineup as well as a 2-way hitter, which is a little bit different from what the Dodgers have done. I believe his last 3 pitching starts, Ohtani had not hit in those. And he's been frankly dominant on the mound. I mean, you look at, what he's done, and it's at least 6 innings in every start, pretty much 1 or 2 runs allowed, if that. And it's been, impressive. I know that there's a lot of, I mentioned Cy Young with Yamamoto, same thing with Shohei Ohtani. And so far he has pitched like one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Matt, appreciate you taking time for us. We are looking forward to this series that gets underway tonight between the Padres and the Dodgers here in San Diego. So thanks for taking time.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, anytime. I appreciate you guys, and it should be a fun 3 games.
Yes, that it will. We'll see. Fun.
Yeah, I would like to wait till Wednesday whether to determine whether that was a fun series or not.
Yeah, it'll be something. It'll be something like that. Matt Moreno, Dodger Blue. We can react. Plus, we'll get to the wrap coming up at 4:30. Remember, we want your talkbacks.
Yeah.
If you want a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, open the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the red talkback microphone. Tell us how much importance you're putting on this series, Padres and Dodgers, that gets underway tonight here in San Diego. Plus, we haven't fully reacted to what played out this weekend in Seattle. And we can do that as well.
Good baseball.
On the other side, tons to get to. Kevin Acee at 5:30, Darnay Tripp at 5 p.m. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
San Diego Sports 760 congratulates all our winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher powered by Donors Choose. There's still time to donate to a classroom project, and your donation will be matched by Donors Choose. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. That's iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Darnay Trip, NBC7 will be at Petco Park. Will join us at 5 p.m. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, will join us from Petco at 5:30. We'll get to the wrap at 4:30. We're asking for your talkbacks this afternoon. All you got to do is open the app, search for San Diego Sports 760, the app being the iHeartRadio app. It's free. Search for San Diego Sports 760, and then click the red microphone icon. The question we're asking this afternoon is, how much importance are you putting on this Padres Dodgers series? And remember, one person that uses the talkback today is walking away with a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Let's take a listen to another one of our listeners.
Hey, gentlemen, Jeff here, weighing in on this Dodgers-Padres debate. Honestly, I don't think they're any more important than the rest of the 162. I think it's going to come down to how these games are won or lost. If we're beat like the Dodgers beat the Angels over the weekend, people are going to be furious and the sky's going to be falling. Conversely, if we handle the Dodgers the way we handled the Mariners over the weekend, people are going to say, when's the parade? And we're going to win the World Series. So it's going to come down to performance, I think.
All right. By the way, Jeff's microphone sounded incredible.
Very good.
What's he using?
I don't know.
Is it a radio studio?
I think he's got like a full set. It might be. He might be in one of the other iHeart studios for all I know.
Another station.
Might be that good.
He tended to agree more with your point, which is, it's another series, and let's see how I'll react to how it plays out.
I mean, listen, you can stack yourself up to, if you get a win, if you win 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, it means something. Let's not pretend. Nobody's trying to pretend like it doesn't mean something. But there's this weight that comes with when you play the Dodgers that I just don't think is beneficial to the San Diego Padres. There's been weight over these years where if like we're all living on the edge based off of a win against the Dodgers or not. Here's what you don't get to hang up. If the San Diego Padres were to face the Dodgers in the playoffs, or in the regular season, they play 13 games. Let's say they took 8 of them. You don't get banners for that. So it's like, yes, they're important games. They're good measuring sticks. Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, those are going to be 2 freaking unbelievable players in the postseason. You get a little bit of film on them. Get Michael King in one of these games. Get Randy Vasquez. Like I like that those guys get a chance to go through that Dodgers lineup as well. But just making this such a big deal, I don't think is the right way to look at it. I'm curious to get your opinion on this. I felt like Mike Shildt, obviously former manager of the Padres, didn't it feel like this series had, and even for Shildt, there was this like, we want to get him. There was like
a little bigger.
Yeah, it was like this rallying cry from your manager. I don't think Craig Stammen is going to be anything like that.
I agree. I think Stammen actually yesterday post-game, I saw a little bit of it post-game on NBC where he seemed to downplay it, saying a couple of things that I would agree with. It's May. They're a very good team, talking about the Dodgers. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, and saying that they want to win all the series that they play from a San Diego perspective. I'm with Stammen. To me, man, one of the biggest differences, and we'll see what it means on field and how it plays out in this year and years ahead. He's very comfortable. He's very comfortable in his own skin. He's not scared to make mistakes. He's not scared to admit when he thinks he's made a mistake. There's a different persona with the 2 managers. Now, to Shilt's credit, had some good teams.
Sure.
Navigated it well enough. Had an excellent team in 2024, for example, that lost to the Dodgers in 5 games. But you're right, that Shildt, Roberts, that Shildt, Manny Machado, sinister sling era. I'm curious to see how it twists and turns with Craig Stammen at the helm now.
It was funny. I always look at like there's different ways to compete. And we'll use the Padres and the Dodgers as a great example. Anybody who watches this Dodgers franchise, clearly they're the Goliath, right? They are the behemoth. And I always look at competition sometimes and it's boring. It's not like I'm going to give you a basketball analogy.
Sure.
The San Antonio Spurs back in the day
were boring.
They'd almost kill you with kindness.
Right.
Right. Like they're the competitor that wanted to shake your hand before the game. that wanted to tell you, God, the way you play basketball, and Popovich would give, like there was a style of Tim Duncan
Tony Parker.
Again, I'm just using it as an example. Not everybody has to play this way, because I also used to watch the Lakers back in the day. Kobe wanted to kill you. But to get to that result, you can have different ways of doing it. I don't think it's the wisest decision to go up against the Dodgers. I'll go back to that 2024. I don't think it's the wisest decision to wake up a sleeping giant. Like, the bottom line is, on paper, they are the most talented baseball team basically every single year. Doesn't mean it always plays out. And I think for the Padres, I think this could be a benefit. The Stammen, kind of like that caller that we just had. You don't have to treat it like it's everything. You don't.
Yeah.
And just there's different ways to approach it. If you're competing, you could run your mouth, or you could just try to kill whoever you're going up against very quietly, like the San Antonio Spurs used to.
To your point, though, there was a time, remind me of the year, when the Padres either swept a series or won a series from the Dodgers in April or May.
I think I know where you're going.
Clayton Kershaw and put the Kershaw meme on the video.
One of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
In real time.
What did you say? I want to know what happened.
I said, this is going to backfire like nobody's business. This is so dumb. Don't poke the bear.
Brother,
my co-host at the time was like, love it. I'm like, trust me.
Don't get me started on this. When I saw that, I was like, this is amateur freaking hour. Act like you've been there before.
Yep.
And we couldn't act. We didn't know how to act. I hated it. I thought it was the worst.
And it was dumb. As we've watched it with the benefit of hindsight, it even looks more dumb, if that's a word. I think it is. More dumb, I think, is a term. All right, we'll get to the wrap on the other side. More of your talkbacks. If you want a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, open the free iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click the red microphone icon and tell us how much importance you're putting on this Padres Dodgers series. Darnay Trip at 5 p.m. Kevin Acee at 5:30. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by eBay. The Padres and Dodgers are getting set for game 1 of their series tonight downtown at Petco Park. It's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto going for LA and Michael King on the hill for San Diego. First pitch is set for 6:40. The NFL is expected to award the 2028 draft to Minneapolis during its quarterly meetings this week, according to ESPN. This year's draft is scheduled to take place in Washington, D.C. And we've got game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA tonight when the Spurs travel to OKC. Tip-off will be a little after 5:30. eBay is home to millions of finds. Each one becomes part of your story, from your favorite vintage band tee to your dream car you've been searching for, or the foul ball you heroically gave away. It's all there on eBay. eBay, things people love.
All right, big 90 minutes coming up. Kevin Acee at 5:30. Our Padres Insider, Darnay Tripp, great voice on the Padres, will join us from Petco Park at 5 p.m. from NBC7. We're giving away a family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. We'll announce the winner at 5:45.
Yep.
And if you want to qualify to win, open the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the red talkback mic, and tell us how much importance you're putting on this week's Padres Dodgers series at Petco Park. The kit's underway in 2 hours. 2 hours, Alan.
I'm on the website right now for San Diego County Fair. I'm just, something simple. Just a nice couple of hot dogs, fried and battered potatoes. Just something nice and light before we're going to do it after one of the shows.
Are they going to have good food for me? Because I'm very, picky.
I'm going to let you, by the way, do something.
Which is?
I hope this is not too crazy. Any item of food you want me to try, but not the whole night. Not the whole night.
Just any one item?
Any one item. I'll do whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is.
No matter what it is, you'll try?
Just real quick. Now, they're not like...
They have like fried.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll try.
You'll eat fried.
We'll try that.
Right?
What's your main concern? The deep frying part or the meat part?
Me?
Yeah,
for me, it's probably meat. But you know me, I also have like a general healthy...
Well, that's what I mean. If you find deep fried kale, you're not going to be able to go. That defeats the point.
No, I would do that.
There is a fruits and veggies section.
I'll be the guy eating like the fruit skewer or whatever. You know what I mean?
It'll be like when you go to the Padres game and you're the guy in line at the acai bowl place.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, we're going now. We're going this summer.
Yeah, we're going
to the Del Mar San Diego County Fair. All right, let's get to the wrap.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Are you guys surprised the Dodgers are minus 150 favorites against Michael King tonight?
No, not at all. Yeah, not for me. And by the way, I like the phrasing of the question because it is against Michael King, and Michael King has been phenomenal and clearly the ace of the San Diego Padres. But I'm not. The Dodgers are it's a dangerous lineup. Everywhere you look, they got studs. And by the way, Yamamoto's pitching, who did he pitch off no days rest in the World Series? Yeah, didn't he just decide that 1 day rest, whatever it was? Something I didn't think was even mathematically possible. Yeah. I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised. If I'm the Padres, I'm printing it out and putting it on the bulletin board.
Okay.
I'm printing out the line for tonight's game. Now, Michael King is a 2.63 ERA. He's at home. And he's a dog, and a fairly significant dog to Yamamoto. To your point, very good. He's got a 3.6 though this year.
I'm surprised by that. I did not know Yamamoto was having some struggles.
So no, I'm not surprised because it is the Dodgers who have won 5 straight. Mm-hmm. But is it a little bit of hey, just circle that if you're the Padres, which they're not doing, by the way. I would circle it if I was in the clubhouse today. If I'm Craig Stammen, I'm posting that thing on the board. There you go. We're plus 150 tonight, boys. What do you think of that? Next question.
OKC is
Tatis better say nothing about whatever is posted on there. Go ahead.
OKC is 6.5 point favorites tonight against the Spurs, despite losing 4 out of 5 to them in the regular season. Is that point spread too much, too little, or just about right?
I think it's too much. I think if you're going to give OKC the edge in game 1, let's put it this way. I'll take the points. I said it this morning. I was doing my NBA show. I like the Spurs in 7. I like the Spurs this series. Now I know we'll probably do that as the series goes on. Sure. Damn, that's crazy. This
starts in an hour. Right?
I think this is such a phenomenal matchup I think two of the youngest teams as well to make it this far going up against each other. I love everything about this series, but I don't know. I feel like San Antonio maybe isn't getting talked about the way they should be.
Sure.
I'm taking. I think that's too high of a spread.
I am going to take. This doesn't have to do with tonight's spread. I will take Oklahoma City in 7.
Okay.
So I think I agree with you. I think it's a long series. I'll give Oklahoma City the home court edge in this series. I'm with you on the 6.5. I expect this to be a great game tonight. And it goes a long way if San Antonio can win one of these first 2 games, obviously, on the road. Oklahoma City hasn't played since the Reagan administration. It's been like 2 months since the last time we saw that.
I had a guy come on who covers the Thunder. And it was early in that series between the Lakers and the Thunder. And I was like, what's the game plan with Jalen Williams? It's like, well, they don't need him in this round.
You're like, they don't?
So because they don't need him, they're just going to let him rest. So he's back tonight as well. He's back tonight. That's a
factor.
They got to have.
Yep.
I don't know if people understand how good San Antonio is.
Right. Or how good Jalen Williams is. I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
And now that we'll see how healthy he is or how fully ready he is for tonight. Next question.
Spurs in 6.
Spurs in 6. That would be in San Antonio closeout. All right.
What's your reaction to a reported settlement between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West?
So I don't know what it all means, but it sounds like it's better for both conferences to move on.
Right.
It's almost like, I don't know if this is a good example. You and your significant other get a divorce.
After a long time of back and forth.
Maybe it's good now.
Right.
Paperwork's all set. Everyone can kind of move on with their lives. And I think that's hopefully benefits the Pac-12 from that department. There was a lot of, I thought, positive things over the weekend about the Pac-12.
Oh, yeah.
Over the last week, even when we talked with JD Wicker last week, who heads the athletic department for San Diego State University. So I'm glad this is over and that each side can move on.
Yeah, this is one of those things where we haven't seen the terms, and there's a lot of legalese and particulars. This is played out in court for 20 months.
You're a terms guy.
Yeah, I'm a terms guy. I need to see what the terms look like. Here's my guess. I would guess that some people will think the Mountain West did very well when we see the settlement, and the others will say the Pac-12 did very well. That's normally a good settlement. It's like a good trade. Both sides are trying to win. There's no way you settle and one side got 95% of what they were seeking. That would be very odd to me. My guess is it's in that 45-55 window. Maybe some people say Pac-12, maybe some people say Mountain West, but at the end of the day, both conferences can move on, and go their separate ways, so to speak. Final question.
How do you guys look back at SDFC's 3-3 draw with Cincy this weekend?
All right.
This thing was insane, right?
I was watching that live. Okay. Right. So I got the game on, and I thought I was like, in a weird way, it was like prepping for a perfect San Diego weekend. I'll tell you. Now, I know that's a Saturday. Padres still had a game on Sunday.
But I get your point.
Padres already had their win earlier.
Yeah.
They won on Friday. San Diego Wave now atop the table, the NWSL. They won their game on Friday. You had already the 3 points that we were asking for on Wednesday. They went 5-0 against Portland. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. They go up 3-2. They went up late. Like this was a
95th minute.
Last second goal. And you just kind of exhaled for a second. Like, I can't believe they're about to get 6 points. And by the way, they were better than Cincinnati. I thought they were. Possession, shots on, I think total shots, I think twice as much, 16-8. So you just assume the game was over. And then there's one kick left in the game.
Literally one kick.
The referees had said there was 10 seconds left coming off of SDFC's goal.
Right, in extra time. So there's literally 10 seconds left.
The most outrageous setup for a perfect kick. What was SDFC's defense doing?
I will get Darren on at some point, hopefully this week.
What happened?
My thought process, I've never coached soccer in my life, but with 10 seconds left, I'm just putting everyone back there. Back there.
Can I give you an example of what I thought it was? In the NFL, it's like a Hail Mary at the end. Mary.
That's exactly what it is.
And they said, let's just use one safety.
Oh, you're saying they didn't have the full complement
Where was everybody?
Of the secondary back there?
So it was Bears, Washington.
A little bit. Yeah.
Where the hell was everybody?
So, to literally end a soccer match on the final kick of the match is rare, right? Cincinnati, I think, tweeted out at the death to earn the point. And it's a big swing, folks.
It is a big swing.
In the final 10 seconds, SDFC lost 2 points. They went from 3 points, a 6 point week at Snapdragon Stadium, to I mean, that is a settle, dude. That is settling for a draw.
LAFC, that game, they had a shot to get 2 points on that. They've had a lot of these.
Yeah.
So now they're sitting here, like you said, the 2 points there would have put them in the, I think, number 9. Anyways, that was a bad evening.
So what do they have coming up? Is this still the 3-match homestand where they got
one more left?
Vancouver,
who's
towards the top of the table.
29.
Right?
They got 29 points. This Vancouver. SDFC is 17.
You know how certain seasons
Vancouver was the squad that took them out last year.
Right, last year. Mm-hmm. You know, certain seasons, like they just have a feel to them. Like 2023 Padres couldn't come up with the big hit.
You're so
couldn't
right.
overcome deficits. And then the 2024 Padres knack for the big hit. Mm-hmm. The 2026 SDFC season is playing out like, how many opportunities have you squandered? They've probably, this isn't fair to say this, thrown away points, but I bet they think they should have 6, 8, 10 additional points.
And it could be, you could say, oh, it's just bad luck, that. But that all kind of comes with the season.
Right.
Things don't go your way. I mean, I could make that case right now for the Padres where a lot of things have gone their way.
Right.
It depends. But I think that comp for SCFC is really good.
All right. On the other side, more of your talkbacks. Open the iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click that little red microphone icon. Tell us how much importance you're putting on Padres Dodgers this week's series at Petco Park. One of you that uses the talkback mic will win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. More on the reported settlement between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. We have the latest on the other side. Then Darnay Triple join us at 5 p.m. from NBC7. And Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, at 5:30. Do not go anywhere. Big hour coming up on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760.
Might be.
You got to read?
No.
Oh, okay. So that's right, because you threw out the piece of paper with the reads on it.
Well, I was working on my jumper, which the way,
is just as important.
Which I had like this thing in my head. If this goes in, Pods take 2 out of 3.
And it went in. Alan has been making all of his crumpled up pieces of paper into the trash bin shots over the last 2 weeks. You got to be shooting 70% from the.
You remember when you called? Right now, I mean, I've heard a lot of names. Like when I walk out, they're like, "Geez, this dude is Mike Miller, Shane Battier." Like they're going to guys that.
Let me try that.
Yeah, maybe aren't the most athletic, but they just got jumpers. Wait, just real quick here before you take the shot.
Right.
Number one, take off your undershirt. It's really holding you back. No, here's the most important thing. You got to get some mark on your shot,
I know,
brother.
dude. But you line drive them.
Well, I line drive because I'm further out. I have more to go.
All right, let me try this. This is to even up the score today.
Yeah, but 2 or 3. You put this in.
Terrible shot. There's a reason why I do what I do.
That was awesome.
Talk sports.
Good. That was good because it took a right turn like I've never seen. That sheet of paper, it was a wiffle swerve that
it had no shot.
That was beautiful.
When you were 9, were you telling people, "Hey, I want to talk sports or be on Sports Center"? Or
there was a little bit of that. But I also felt like I still had the NBA.
You thought you're gonna make it?
NBA point guard dream.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I thought that was still there at 9.
At 9,
yeah.
I knew at 9 what I wanted to do, which is talk about sports because I love sports. But I'm like, there is a difference between me and everyone else that's playing on these fields and courts, and it seems like they are better than me. And so I had a realization. I could have been 8.
Yeah, I think at 9 I was like, no, because I'm going to talk my way through it too.
Oh, you're going to talk your way to the NBA.
It's going to be I'm good for the culture. I thought maybe, there's something I could provide.
And it turns out
it didn't happen.
It didn't happen that way. All right. So Darnay Tripp will join us coming up at 5 p.m. More of your talkbacks, by the way. Hit us up on the iHeartRadio app. Search for 760. Click that red microphone icon and tell us how much importance you're putting on this Padres Dodgers series. We'll spend the entire 5 o'clock hour by and large on that upcoming series.
6 different pitches on your throw to the trash can. I've never seen anything. I've seen.
Oh, you've seen the line drive.
I've seen a curveball. I've seen everything.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You're like you, Darvish.
I'm like you, Darvish. Yeah, and I'm having similar effectiveness late in my career
out of it.
Okay, so we both saw something similar this weekend. We talked earlier. The Pac-12 and Mountain West may be nearing a settlement. It appears as the two sides go their separate ways financially. But we saw something this weekend that I think is very encouraging for the Pac-12, including San Diego State. It's the monetary distribution that one of the schools in the Pac-12 is set to receive next year. It was Washington State.
That's right.
They reported with their board. So this is accurate information. This was a board. I don't even know what it is. Board of Governors or whatever meeting that they were expecting to receive over $13 million of distribution from the Pac-12 next year. That would be very encouraging potentially for San Diego State, more than they were getting in the Mountain West, for example.
Let me read this exactly. It says the new Pac-12 is positioned itself clearly above the traditional G5 tier. Full share members are projected around 13.2 annually. And this is obviously for the teams that are the San Diego State. I mean, go down the list. Annually in conference distributions, creating a legitimate national conference with real long-term stability and upside. Now, let's be honest with each other here. The Big Ten is between 72 and 80 million.
It's a big number.
The SEC is between 70 and 75. The ACC is 43 and 46. The Big 12 is 36 and 42. And if I'm right about that, that doesn't mean. Where's Cal and Stanford? They're in the
ACC.
They're in the ACC.
Now
they're taking a portion. Yeah, they're taking a portion. So it's actually closer to what the Pac-12 is getting at that 13.2 number. The only point I want to make on this, the next San Diego State, the idea is that the Pac-12 is kind of by themselves because the American Athletic Conference, the AAC, is the next closest. They're making $7 million to $10 million. Mountain West Conference is $5 million to $7 million.
That's the key.
There's a jump, double of what San Diego State was making. And it might not be the best conference today. And nobody's trying to pretend like they're ever going to be the SEC or the Big Ten or something like that. But the question is, can you at some point, is there a way that you can shorten that gap between where you are and the Big 12?
Yeah, it's like you got a buddy that makes 200K and you make 50. And all of a sudden now you got a raise, you got a new job, and you're making like $100,000. So yeah, on one hand,
and how is he spending his 200 versus how you're spending your 100?
On one hand, you got to look at it from your seat. It's a little bit of the Padres Dodgers thing. You can't concern yourself with Penn State's financials if you're San Diego State or either USC's financials, right up the road, so to speak. You just got to worry about your own house. And if San Diego State is better situated with the additional revenue coming in. Now, again, keeping up with the Joneses is hard. Now you go from 50K to 100K. Your buddy that was making 200 might be making 280. You can't worry about your buddy making 280. You just got to be thankful for the opportunity that's been presented to you to go from 50 to 100K.
I think also, too, it's like, what's the potential of the conference? So J.D. Wicker was telling us last week, we're at Naughty Barrel and Rancho Penasquitas.
Yep, it's fun.
And he said something to the effect of like, there's a reason why we only have 9 schools here. We think there could be some opportunity down the road. Right. So I would just look at the Pac-12 as this. It's obviously not a finished product. I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you on, of course, the vision that San Diego State had to be in the original Pac-12 was the ultimate vision.
Sure.
Okay, there's nothing they could do about that. But in 5 years, are there some other schools out here on the West Coast that broke away and decided, let's just get back to the Pac-12? Like, can this conference get better over time? I think it can. So I would just say that it's probably from where San Diego State was a few years ago to where they're sitting today. I think it's a little bit greener, and I think there's some more opportunity for the Pac-12.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And by the way, by being a smaller conference, remember, we're in this world where conferences have 18 teams. Big Ten is 18 teams. Big 10.
Yep.
10 is 10, but they have 18 teams. In that world, San Diego State's playing in an 8-team football league. By being lean, yes, it gives you a chance to get schools in the future, but you're also taking a pie and splitting it 8 ways, actually 9 with Gonzaga.
That's a good point, yeah.
And if you added in
Gonzaga's full because
full
of,
share,
yeah, because
of their
basketball
stature.
Yep.
But if you added in just a 10th and 11th just to do it, all of a sudden you're losing 10, 20% of your TV revenue by splitting that pie.
That's a good point.
Another 1 or 2 ways. So I think by being nimble and by being lighter, everyone is going to reap those advantages.
And if you grab the right school,
then
or the
you
right
can add
schools,
the right money.
Now that share, maybe it just brings up the whole pool.
I mean, to your point, real quick, it's been a good couple of weeks for the Pac-12. There's been a lot of positive news around it. July 1st is just around the corner. San Diego State will officially be in this new league. I'm excited for it. To your point, you can't spin it. Oh, well, it's the same thing. They're playing Arizona and Arizona State and Washington and Oregon. They're not. You're right. It's not the same.
No one's trying to sell you on that.
But is it better than, like, with all due respect, playing some of the schools you were playing the last 10 years, 20 years in the Mountain West? I think it is.
I think it is. And I think, again, I'll go back to the bigger picture. And we noticed this, being around, at least for me, this is new, but being around the athletic director and Sean Lewis and Brian Dutcher and just kind of looking at how San Diego State athletics is operating right now, there's some real resources going into that football program. I thought it was some positive news last week when they said that, hey, ticket sales are up for this upcoming season. Let's see what they could do with some of the resources that they have. And again, to go back to the point that you originally made, you got to kind of worry about yourself. So Pac-12 needs to worry about himself, and then San Diego State's got to worry about itself within the Pac-12. Be the best version of the best version you can. And I think it starts with that football program. See what happens from there.
We're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair in the 5 o'clock hour. To be eligible to win, open the free iHeartRadio app right now. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click on the red talkback mic and tell us how much importance you're putting on this week's Padres Dodgers series that gets underway at 6:40. Speaking of that series, we have you covered wall to wall in the 5 o'clock hour. Darnay Tripp from NBC7 on the other side from Petco Park will join us live at 5:30. Our Padres Insider Kevin Acee from Petco Park will join us live. We have you covered. Padres and Dodgers round 1 tonight at 6:40. Hour 3, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
This report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The Padres and Dodgers are getting set for game 1 of their big series down at Petco Park tonight. It's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto going for LA and Michael King going for the Padres. First pitch is set for 6:40. The NFL is expected to award the 2028 draft to Minneapolis during its quarterly meetings this week, according to ESPN. This year's draft is scheduled to take place in D.C. And we got game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA tonight when the Spurs take on OKC. They will tip off a little after 5:30. Choosing the right home service company isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about trusting who's in your home. That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour, an hour closer to the resumption of the Padres and the Dodgers. And the first time here in 2026, we've got you covered this hour. Kevin Acee in 30 minutes will join us live. And right now, Darnay Tripp, NBC7. I was fortunate enough yesterday, Alan, to be on Sports Night in San Diego with Darnay.
Phenomenal.
And Todd Strain. I've gotten a lot of comments on the fact that I wasn't wearing socks. I was wearing socks. They were just like low socks.
Darnay, was that okay with you?
Is that okay, Darnay? Like why don't you guys wear
wear
sneakers?
Yeah, I definitely noticed the bare ankles. I'm not going to lie. We're sitting there, you know, and John's got his legs crossed and, you know, they're just kind of staring at me, maybe a little bit distracting, but that's all right. You know, it's like, it's one of those things, like if you saw it like in any other context, not on TV, like I don't think you'd think anything of it, but there's something weird about being on TV. And it's also like a thing as a TV viewer, like, and it's something you learned early on in your career. Like if you give the viewer a chance to be distracted by something, they will be distracted by that thing 100%. And so, no, I wasn't offended by it, but you know, it's one of those things you kind of figure out with more TV reps, maybe throwing on a
Schaefer's
pair of
ego, Schaefer's ego, brother.
Some people go with like the loud, noisy, like kind of quirky socks. And that's another thing. If you do that, all people will be looking at is your socks. Yeah. And so you kind of have to, you know, find that sweet spot.
What do they say?
But John did a great job. Socks aside, John did a great job.
What do they say in TV? Ankle sell? I think that's the same.
That is the same. Yeah, that's huge.
What it is. Or is it socks? Is it socks?
You're seeing it sweep across all TV networks.
Actually,
ankle sell.
I think it's socks sells on television. All right, Darnay Tripp, NBC7 with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. All right, so we've spent 2 hours on this, obviously. Does it feel different when it's the Padres against the Dodgers as we get set? And you are downtown, right? Are you at Petco right now?
At Petco Park,
is there a different
from Salmon and
is there a different feeling or not?
I don't. You know, I was thinking coming here because I think it was last year, and I want to say it was the first series against the Dodgers of the year, and I forget what the context was, what they just, you know, the series they came off of. But I remember it being very, very quiet in the clubhouse and not hearing from any of the guys. You know, Manny spoke today and Gavin Sheets coming off his big week, really. And, you know, Sheets says like it's got a different feel because it's the Dodgers. But I think these guys, like, they've been through it so often now. And like they went through in the playoffs in 2020, obviously in a weird year. And I think it was 2021. They played really well against the Dodgers. 2022, we obviously know what happened. I might be getting my years mixed up. 2024, they meet again. Like, so we've been doing this a lot. So I think it's maybe become just sort of part of the routine. I think they also understand, like, it is a long season. And I think it was Giolito who said, you know, it can be a bit of a tone setter, if anything, at this stage in the year. What happens as far as the standings go, like, you know, if they happen to get swept, they're only 3.5 games back and it's May. Like, it's not that huge of a deal. But now once they get on the field, I think that's where you feel the electricity of the crowd. If there's a big moment, if things get contentious, certainly that sort of thing can be amplified. But in terms of 3:30 in the afternoon after a long weekend and a long week ahead, and they don't have a ton of off days during this month, they're pretty businesslike. And I will say, like, maybe Craig Stammen leans into it a little bit more than Mike Schilt. Mike Schilt last year and the last couple of years was very much every game's a big deal, every game's the same kind of guy, type of guy. I think Craig Stammen, like, while I don't think he's giving like a Newt Rockne speech in the clubhouse before the game, I think he understands, yeah, it's fun, it's exciting, the fans get into it, and that's cool, but I don't know if it really goes beyond that.
Yeah, listen, I think there's some benefit, Darnay, to be honest with you, that there is a little bit less deal of a made or less of a deal made just because it is May and because the Padres obviously got plenty of other teams they got to worry about in the NL, and that's not to downplay, of course, what the matchup means, Padres and the Dodgers before. And I know we're sitting here and first pitch is coming, but I don't want to lose what I think the Padres gained over these last 3 days. Just give me your takeaways from the series against Seattle. Here they were, they had lost, I think we said they were 6-9 in their last 15. They lost a couple of games. They lose the series set against the Brewers. And I thought they were just great from everything, from a starting pitching perspective. Obviously, some bats put aside the big players. What did you make of the sweep in Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of touched on something important. Like, I almost like how they look the next 3 days. I feels more important than like what the results are, and the results seem so huge because it's the Dodgers and because the standings are what they are. But if you lose 2 out of 3, but, the lineup continues to do what it did over the last 2 days in Seattle, like, you can probably live with that, especially the type of pitching that they're going to face and how good the Dodgers are. If you win 2 out of 3, but it's ugly at bats and it's not great baseball and it seems like they've taken a step back offensively, I mean, which would you prefer? I mean, I might rather have the outcome that, you don't get the series, but you're playing really good baseball, because that's going to carry forward into this weekend against the A's and the series that follow. So, as much as you want to beat the Dodgers, and in a perfect world, both things happen. You play really well and you win. There's only so much you can control. I think, building on what they did, kind of a bit of a reset in Seattle, getting back to kind of their principles offensively, making pitchers pay for their mistakes, which they haven't done enough this year. Like, I just want to see that continue and sort of let the chips fall where they may as far as the final score and the outcome of the series.
Darnay Tripp from NBC7 with us right now. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. We briefly touched on this idea. Just this simple 3-game series against the Dodgers. Is it winnable if Tatis Machado and Merrill continue to look like the versions we've seen in 2026?
I think so, because, I mean, it's worked for them to this point. You have Michael King on the mound as well. We know what Michael King is capable of. You have Randy Vasquez on the mound. You know what Randy Vasquez is capable of. Obviously, the bullpen, and once you get to Mason Miller there in the ninth. And so, there's enough other strengths of this team that I feel like gives you a chance. But Gavin Sheets, the way he's hitting the baseball, Nick Castellanos, what he's done in big spots, Miguel Andujar has been awesome. It's like you've had all these conversations again. Like, I think at this point in May, I would answer yes. Now, if you're asking me in October, in the beginning of a playoff run, can they do that? I probably have a different answer. But, in a vacuum, in a week like this, at this stage in the season, the pitching that the Padres are going to have, I feel like they could have a similar last 2 days where you're maybe lucky to get a hit from Machado, Merrill, and Tatis, but you've got other guys that are contributing and playing well. I could see that being the case.
Darnay, I'm just curious, when you're around some of these players, specifically, I'll just use Tatis. We all know the story. He hasn't hit a home run up to this point. I'm sure it's talked about. I'm sure he goes to sleep at night like, thank you for the reminder, guys. I'm well aware that I've yet to hit a home run. But just kind of thinking of the beginning of the year, or maybe the first homestand, is his vibe a lot different? Like, it just based off of maybe mounting pressure every single game that he still hasn't hit a home run. Is there anything you noticed, just, again, his vibe from early on in the season to where we're sitting today?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably been a couple weeks since I've been around him in that scrum setting, so it's hard to say. You could certainly feel it. I forget exactly when it was when we were talking to him. It was when I think it was against the Giants. I want to say there was a game he had a big sack fly. He was up in a big spot, and he did his job, but obviously not as exciting as he would have wanted it to be. I think you feel that. I think you get that sense. I think last year, certainly when he was struggling, you felt that. And I think that's one of the things with Fernando Tatis Jr. He has like the most, consistently even-keeled manager right now in Craig Stammen. But I don't think you would say that Fernando Tatis Jr. is an even-keeled player. Now, I think, he's gotten better about kind of managing that, but how he's doing, how he's feeling and how he's playing just based on, the way he's looking and the way he's carrying himself. And not to say that he's been pouting. I think a lot of people pointed out, like, him being upbeat, the way he celebrated what Gavin Sheets did over the weekend and all that. But in terms of what he's doing and he's accomplishing, like, you can feel that a little bit. And so I think that's a test for Tatis when he's having the kind of stretch that he is right now. And, part of me wouldn't mind seeing, like, that's why I think, like, having him in a leadoff spot is big. Like, if you can just create, like, some artificial joy, excitement, put that on his shoulders, like, hey, you're our tone setter off the top of the lineup. Like, I think that is maybe a good thing for him. And I think, like, Nick Castellanos said it early in the season, when you're slumping, you got to fake it till you make it.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know if we've seen that from Fernando Tatis Jr. It's hard when you're not in the clubhouse with him. But see him just kind of fake that enthusiasm we got so accustomed to seeing the first few years of his career, because I think we could all say that's been noticeably absent.
I want to know if and when it happens, that is him hitting a ball over a wall in fair territory in a game.
I think he has hit one foul.
He's probably hit one foul.
Yeah.
Is he getting the silent treatment? Is he getting the over-the-top treatment? Like, I can't wait to see what the dugout. Look, did you see, by the way, I also saw this on social media today. The two players with the hardest hit balls this year are Kyle Schwarber and Fernando Tatis Jr. One has hit 20 home runs.
Oh, my God.
The other has an homered, which speaks to, by the way, it's a lot more than just hitting the ball hard, obviously. I think that kind of proves that point. Darnay, final one for me is just on Lucas Giolito. What were your impressions and takeaways from his first start as a Padre?
Yeah, I mean, really, really good. And another guy that we talked to this afternoon, I asked him about kind of the velo piece, because that I think was something everybody noticed. And, he attributed, I think, to a degree, like the unorthodox ramp up that he had, and said, yeah, that's something we noticed. It's something that we're working on and something that they obviously want to improve. So I don't think he'll just be sitting at 90, 91, but we'll see. But, I think you saw like a very professional pitcher that knows the game, knows how to go about his business. He's a veteran. And seems to really appreciate his surroundings. He said San Diego was one of the clubs that he was really eyeing when he went to the free agency process. Seemed really happy that it worked out the way it did, and loves working with Ruben Niebla and being a part of this group. And so I think he's excited to kind of have the responsibility on his shoulders now, with a rotation that's been a bit in flux. And, clearly seems like a guy that appreciates the process and knows the type of work that is required to do his job at a high level. Certainly not satisfied, especially with the way things ended yesterday. But I think the next couple starts are going to be really interesting, especially what you see with Avilo, how teams respond to him, and if he can continue to kind of be like a consistent guy in the rotation, because I think that's what they need from him, like more 5, 6, potentially 7 inning starts than they've been getting from the rotation so far.
All right, Darnay, I'll get John some high socks for the next TV appearance.
Give me high socks?
Yeah, Darnay, you go get us 2 or 3 over these next 3 at Petco, okay?
Okay. I'll do my part, and then I look forward to seeing John.
Dress
Nothing
socks?
too loud,
Like dress socks or like athletic socks? With sneakers.
Yeah, you had sneakers on. So you got to.
You can kind of go either way with the sneakers. So,
all right.
As long as the colors sort of coordinate, nothing too flashy. I think we'll be.
I don't know. John's a flashy guy.
No, I don't know.
Very flashy. Look at you should see the chain he has on right now on YouTube.
Exactly.
I did like I think those were dunks. Those are really nice. Dunks or Jordan?
Yeah. That I was wearing last night. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for having me, dude. Again, you can catch Darnay on Sports Night in San Diego Sunday nights, and of course on NBC 7 as well. Appreciate you hopping on, man.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, good stuff. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30. We want to get to more of your talkbacks on the other side. Last chances right now to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. If you want to qualify to win, we're announcing a winner this hour. If you want to qualify to win, open the iHeartRadio app right now. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click the red talkback mic and tell us how much importance you're putting on this Padres Dodgers series that gets underway in less than 90 minutes. You do that, you're qualified to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. We'll announce a winner in 30 minutes. All right, Kevin Acee at 5:30. Your talkbacks next. Stay with us. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Kevin Acee.
More like a two-seamer.
Yeah, you got a baseball game.
But just more, people see it.
They do on YouTube. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider from Petco Park at 5:30. Padres Dodgers coming up in about an hour or so from Petco Park. The talkbacks have been rolling in all day long.
My knuckle is disgusting.
Look at that, man.
I actually have no idea.
You really just...
I have no idea
how to throw one?
Yeah.
Neither do I.
Where's Waldron?
I think that's how you throw it.
By the way,
you dig in your nails.
Yeah, something like that. Come on YouTube. You could see us, our beautiful faces.
Yeah.
You're
for
more
3 straight hours.
You push it more than you throw it.
Or push it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, Kevin's going to join us in 10 minutes. You can still qualify to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Open the iHeart app, search for 760, click on the red microphone icon.
Phenomenal giveaway. Great giveaway.
Tell us how much importance you're putting on Padres Dodgers, this series that gets underway tonight at Petco Park, like a listener right here.
The Dodgers, it's still early in the season, but I think that the players psychologically need to know that they belong with the Dodgers and that there's a reason why we're only a half game out of first. So I think to win at least one out of 3 is important so that it won't be in the player's psychic that the Dodgers are dominant.
All right, so get at least one. Make sure it's not between the ears.
It's kind of funny. Is that kind of the what is, like, if I just say, what's the goal this weekend, or not this weekend, these 3 games? Are you happy with
one?
I mean, if you win, let's say you won 1 game and the 2 you lose against Yamamoto and Shohei, no, you're not okay. I think, listen, if you took 1, it's not a surprise. If you took 2, you're like, wow, what a really good series against the Dodgers. This is, again, just another kind of indication that you reach your highest threshold this year of how many games over 500 you are. And then obviously if you get swept or sweep, that's a different conversation on both sides. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge. The only good thing for the Padres is they do have their best 2 pitchers pitching as well.
Yeah. The goal for me, I like how you asked it and kind of talked your way through it. I mean, the Padres are a good team. The goal is to win home series. I mean, they've been great on the road. They've won road series loss in 9 series.
That's right. There's the Brewers
7
series.
wins,
That was it.
1 loss, and a tie.
Yeah.
They're a good team. They've been good
okay
enough at home, 13 and 10.
Okay. Yeah.
But like, you head into a series, obviously the defeatist way to look at it is like, well, if you get 1.
You
they're
can't
fine.
do that.
If they happen to win 1, they're fine. But again, the goal of the series is to win it. That has to be how they're looking at it
And if we make a comp for every series is the same and every team is the same, wouldn't you be saying the same thing if they're playing Chicago?
You say the same thing.
They go up to Seattle.
Yes.
Take 2 or 3.
Good teams win series.
Yep.
The Padres are a good team. They're going to play 13 times. They haven't met in the first 46 games. They'll now meet 13 times in 116 games. 11% of the games remaining are these 2 teams facing off. So we're going to see them at a greater clip. And dude, I remember saying in 2022, Alan, when the Padres beat the Dodgers in 4, I remember the narrative heading into that series was they don't have a shot. And here's why. They went something like 5-13 against LA in the regular season. My point is, anything can happen even in the regular season, and it doesn't fully write the script for the postseason. The Padres were 5-13. I think I have that right. Something like that.
No,
6-12.
Right. Yeah,
they were
like that.
terrible against the Dodgers. So,
but that's again, doesn't that go back to the point? I like, by the way, kind of get some of these games out. They'll play them. I think they got another 3-game set against them here coming up shortly. So I want to say,
I want to know when.
Is it in June or is it still?
Or is it in May?
It might be the end of May. I got a cousin who texted me. He's like, "Oh, the game." I'm like, "All right, well,
like, when is it?"
We'll look at that.
It's in June.
Okay, so it's in June. Yeah, I think you're right. It's like the end of June or something like that.
But is it here?
I think that 3-game set is here. But it goes back to what you were just saying. It's like right now for the Padres, it's more about let's get Giolito where he needs to be. Let's get Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, Jackson Merrill. Let's get these guys to do anything.
Right.
Let's get a kind of high-intensity series against the Dodgers where you get to see Yamamoto, you get to see Shohei. Like, I think there's some good walking out of this series any way that you look at it from the perspective of let's get some data on how the Padres kind of faced against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
You'll also get that opportunity when you play Atlanta. You've already got it already with Chicago. Philly's coming, one of the hottest teams in baseball. I mean, Philly's 15-4 since they fired their manager.
That's insane.
15-4 since they fired their manager. So, yes, do these games mean something? Of course they do. But it's more right now about just kind of gauging yourself where you are with some of the elite competition. That's it. Nothing more than that.
I agree with you. I do. The 4 series this week at Petco.
Yeah.
The final weekend of June, Petco, June 26th, 7th, and 8th. And then the next week, July 2nd through the 5th, the holiday week, is at Dodger Stadium. That's a Thursday through Sunday 4-game series.
Got it. And then they got a 3-game set
left. And then 3 in September near the very end of the season, Dodgers. September 22nd through 24th at Dodger Stadium. So the point is the first 6 are at Petco. The last 7 are at Dodger Stadium, including a matchup about a week out from the postseason.
Go 3-3. 3-3 in this 6-game homestand against the Dodgers. 3-3
in the 6
All
games
good.
at home.
Keep things moving.
Yeah. All right. Kevin Acee is going to join us on the other side. We'll announce the winner of the family 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair coming up at 5:45. Alan has an incredible story for us at 5:45.
It's incredible.
It's
very stressful.
From what I've heard so far, it was somewhat incredible. You'll hear that coming up at 5:45 about an experience he had on television at one point. But Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, on the other side, plus a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair coming up at 5:45. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider from Petco Park, as the Padres get ready for the Dodgers. He'll join us live next on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
The support is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The Padres and Dodgers are getting set for game 1 of their series tonight downtown at Petco Park. It's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto going for the Dodgers and Michael King on the hill for the Friars. First pitch is set for 6:40. The NFL is expected to award the 2028 draft in Minneapolis during its quarterly meetings this week, according to ESPN. This year's draft is scheduled to take place in Washington. And we got game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA playoffs tonight. Spurs are at Thunder. They should tip off here in about 10 minutes or so. Choosing the right home service company isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about trusting who's in your home. That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
Padres Dodgers game 1, just over an hour out. Always great to reconnect with Kevin Acee, who has been on the road and back home. And joining us right now on Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. This was our bad. We didn't touch on this until this point, but I saw you wrote about a hitters meeting Friday with the hitting coach for the Padres, Steven Souza Jr., and obviously the group of position players for the Padres about maybe some of the discipline that they had gotten away from. Do you believe as if that played some sort of role for the team over the weekend? Because obviously the offense returned Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I don't like to assign too much importance to those meetings. Like there's daily meetings, there's things that are said every day, but you can't help but in this case to think that, like, look, I was told about the meeting right after it happened and the things that were said, and then those were the things that happened. So, hey, sometimes it works out like that, right? Sometimes Fernando Tatis Jr. takes an hour of batting practice on the field and he continues to hit the ball into the ground. Sometimes, the hitting coach says, look, guys, this is what we haven't been doing. And remember when we were doing it and we got away from it? And if we'd stuck with it, we'd be doing better now. But instead, we are doing this, and this, and we're, trying to do too much. And we're missing mistake pitches that we shouldn't be missing. And boom, lo and behold, they go out and they do what they were reminded to do. And you know what? Let's not get carried away because one guy in particular did what he's been doing all along, and that's Gavin Sheets.
Kevin, just kind of building off that momentum, the 3-game win streak, the sweep of the Seattle Mariners, and 10 games above 500. So this is the best point of the Padres all year. I know early in the season, I think they were 19-9. Well, what are you hoping to see in this series against the Dodgers? It is just May, and frankly, I know even if it was another really good team in the NL, I'd probably have a similar question, but it is the Dodgers. What are you hoping to see over this 3-game set?
Yeah, it has to be addressed. Now, here's where I'm coming from. I watched the 2021 Padres play 7 of the most amazing regular season games I've ever seen against the Dodgers. They took 3 of 4 at Dodger Stadium. Tatis went off. They swept the Dodgers here in the middle/end of June, and then got their ass kicked by the Dodgers and everyone else the rest of the season. So I just don't put much stock in it. That said, you're a half game back. You just don't usually take advantage of these situations. Take advantage of the situation. This is when Tatis gets hot. Like they could sweep this and then, like we've seen before, it doesn't really, matter or work out. Or they could sweep this and it could be the start of something, man, because of the way they did it. So that's the better alternative. I'm just not going to read anything into anything that happens in this series. But how do you measure up? And they, the Dodgers are playing better. You're facing the Padres are not going to get to take advantage of the Dodgers injuries in their starting rotation. They're still facing the 3 guys that they would be facing. Snell, they're not up. Like they're facing Ohtani, Sheehan, and Yamamoto. Like this is for real. So I guess I'm just looking to see how they measure up, and that's all.
Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, with us right now. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. Let's go back to yesterday where Lucas Giolito makes his Padres debut. He works into a 6th inning. What were the general thoughts on the way Giolito performed, after the game?
Yeah, I think that they were extremely pleased. And then there's this outlier inning where, yes, he has to do better, but took 25 minutes. The guy's pitching for the first time ever. He was so freaking locked in clearly. And then, his mechanics waned. And whether it's that mental because, he wasn't as locked in, he's pitching his first game. So, what you have to look at in this situation is what he did for 5 innings, and that could not really have been any better. It could. He was falling behind 3-0 and 3-1 a lot, but then he's got that magnificent changeup, and he was getting out of it. This is what he demonstrated was what they got him for, and that's that he's a veteran pitcher who knows how to pitch, and that was, I thought, about as good as it could have possibly gone for the Padres in his first start.
Kevin, stay with the pitching tonight. Michael King, of course, for the Dodgers, it's Yamamoto, but Michael King has continued to, I think, establish himself as the most dependable pitcher for the Padres. Of course, you wish Pivetta was out there, but he's not. What have you kind of made of what Michael King has been for the Padres so far this year, and how much do you expect him to step up in a situation like this where he's going up against the defending champs?
Yeah, Michael King is good enough to go out and dominate these guys tonight. He is. He did it twice in 2024. I don't know if dominate's the right word, but he really pitched well against these guys. He has not been as good this year as he was in 24, but what I've been amazed at is how good he's been without command of his sinker. It just leaves him, or he's never had it at times. Probably, I don't even know if he would say 2 games that it felt okay. He might say 0. And still to then have a 2, whatever it is, ERA, and to, every game keep his team in it. I've been absolutely marveling at that, because that is to me one of the great things that a really, really good pitcher has, is when things aren't working, to put together strings like Michael King has. I think this is basically Michael King's floor, because he hasn't had all of his pitches ever. And so to do that and still pitch as well as he has, phenomenal. So I expect him to keep these guys in the game tonight. This might be their most favorable matchup of the whole thing. And that's with Yamamoto on the mound.
Right. They'll face Ohtani, who's been brilliant. Obviously, they'll face Emmett Sheehan as well in this series. Kevin Acee is with us right now, our Padres Insider on San Diego Sports 760. You referenced 2021, the start of that Padres-Dodgers season series. I'm just thinking back to recent history. There's always something that happens. There's Roberts and Schilt. There's sinister sling, as Ken Rosenthal said in the postseason. There's so many other moments. Tatis. Yeah. There's just so many moments. Do you expect there to be a moment this series, like in the first 46 games? I'm sure there's been moments, but is there something that's going to play out over the course of the next 3 games that is unique to the season to this point, that seemingly just happens when these two teams get together?
Yeah, I'd be kind of silly to say that it wouldn't, right? I can't think of what it would be. Right. I think they've settled into playing each other, but there is an energy. There's an energy that players get caught up in the moment too. So yeah, I suppose I wouldn't know what it's going to be. I kind of hope so, even though I'm the guy who loves doing this job and covering baseball, because look, there is no game bigger in May than another game. This game is not bigger than yesterday. It's not. It's really cool. It's Wednesday, you're facing Ohtani. It's big, but by the next day it's forgotten because it's baseball. And when this series is over, 49, there will be 113 games to go. So I love that. But the fact that we get to get geeked up about this for 3 days, before the A's come to town, I think that's really cool.
Kevin, just stylistically, to see Craig Stammen and how he's managed the Padres so far, is there, what would you say is one of the bigger differences? You come into a series like this, and I know Mike Schilt would give you just all the kind of generic answers, but I also watched Mike Schilt and Dave Roberts like it was like they're going at war against each other. Just his style, could there be a benefit to how Stammen is so kind of calm, cool, and really treating it like it's just another series or another game that could benefit the Padres?
Yeah, though I think they have that. Schilt was the most intense guy in the clubhouse,
Right.
Yes, I do. And I think that that's a really good trait. And guess what? It's worked out for them that they all kind of have to some extent taken on the Manny Machado persona, right? Which is, back of the baseball card, it's all going to be fine. We're good. We're awesome. We're great. There's a reason we're here, and, we're going to win our 90 games. On the other hand, there's people in the organization that think they should have a little more of that fight, that bulldog, that like, hey, this is a big series. Let's go beat the crap out of this team. They wish they'd have that like when the White Sox came to town, right? That's what they are really more talking about, because somehow the Padres do get up for the Dodgers. But yeah, I'm with you. Like Craig is that. Craig is this really good mix of that. Been there, done it. I believe in these guys. And also, hey, I don't like the way we're hitting. I'm going to mix up the lineup again, which I think is awesome. At least it's awesome now in May. Hopefully for his sake, he'd love to have settled on a lineup and a leadoff hitter and all that. Hopefully some guys start hitting so he can settle on a lineup.
When you talk about the lineup, Kevin Acee with us right now on 760, I kind of like how they've split up the big three that have struggled. Obviously, we saw that yesterday. I don't know if they're the big three anymore, but the three that have struggled in Tatis and Machado and Merrill, he goes back to that again here today. Yeah. What do you think the premise or thought process is? Because they've struggled, let's break them up a little bit.
Yes. First, there was this thought process of let's get Toddy out of the first inning because maybe he's widely sucked in the first inning. Right. But basically, no one said that. I want to make it clear. Look, we think they're going to get better. But while we're doing that, we can't just sit around and hope they get better when they are basically back-to-back outs. And so let's, Andujar Sheets, let's do it. And then get Toddy back up top because, hey, he's hit there before. And, by the way, there's no one else. Like, they have tried virtually everyone at leadoff.
Kevin, final one for me as well. And, of course, we always appreciate your time. Just the run that Sheets is on right now, what has that been like covering him and just seeing what he's been able to do over this stretch? And this is not even, we watch what he did over the weekend. You almost forget about the 3-run homer in Milwaukee and other stuff that he's done. What's that run been like to be a part of it? And just, obviously watching him close up.
First off, the dude is so cool and he cares and he's a pro and he roots for his teammates. And it's like, this is awesome. You know what? This is like a Tatis type heater from back when Tatis was Tatis, right? And we all took it for granted. Oh, this is just what Tatis does. So, like, to watch Gavin Sheets, who I have all the respect in the world for, he's a clutch player. Take a look at his May last year. They didn't all turn out wins, but there was a game in Toronto. He hit 2 game-tying home runs and a go-ahead 2-run single in the 11th inning. Like, that, this guy last May, and in Atlanta, the next series, like, this guy last May is his month, man. He is a performer. But he's also just Gavin Sheets, right? So, like, but to see a player that locked in, not just absolutely no interest whatsoever in pitchers' pitches, just waiting for his pitch, having that discipline where it's going to be a good at bat. Like, that's just rare that you see this. I mean, a 21-17 OPS over 6 games. Okay, it's 6 games, but like the walks, is it 8 walks in that time? Like 8 walks, the homers, like the guys. I love Gavin Sheets as a $4 million supplemental player. Like, he's the guy who makes you go, what if Manny and Toddy were hitting?
Yeah, he might need to be the $340 million supplemental player with the way he's playing right now. Kevin,
that's everything. He's played himself into this, and good for him, right?
I know.
Absolutely.
He's been awesome, man. Absolutely. He has really been terrific. Kevin, appreciate you taking time. We'll do it again in the middle of the week.
Well, see you.
All right, well, that's the winner of a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair coming up next. And Alan Sliwa shares a TV story that would be a nightmare for me. I haven't heard the full story. We're going to hear it on the other side. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is Schaefer again for my friends at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Make sure to get there this spring and summer. The hotel and spa at Hamul, where you can experience elevated luxury with their refined hotel stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Hamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. And now you can take your stay to the next level with exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. You will love their dining options as well, whether it's Tony Gwynn's with the endless dining or Hamul 23 with their lobster buffet every day. At Tony Gwynn's, you can enjoy San Diego's favorite endless dining experience. That's Wednesday through Sunday at Tony Gwynn's Sports Pub. At Hamul 23, enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations. Start your morning with their new signature breakfast buffet, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10:30 a.m., featuring made-to-order omelets, fresh fruit, and sweet and savory favorites at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, final time. Schaefer and Sliwa. Final time today. Schaefer and Sliwa. San Diego Sports 760. We've got a winner, Alan, for our 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego
awesome. Phenomenal
County Fair. Are you going to do a drum roll, Brent, or no? I think he's got a real one.
I just shook all the cameras and everything.
There it is. Do you know the winner, Alan? I would have you say it.
I do not have it.
It's a surprise to you.
It's a surprise to me as well, and I'm excited for Brent's announcement.
Yeah, I'm going to announce it because Brent just told me.
Okay.
Our winner of the 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair is Josh. Josh has done it.
Good work, Josh.
And he did it by using the talkback mic and answering today's question of the day. If you didn't win fair tickets today, you'll have another chance to do it tomorrow and all week long at 760. Once Upon a Fair is the theme this year. Mm-hmm. There was a tale of food, fun, friends, family, laughter, tradition, music, amazement, and more. The San Diego County Fair, the biggest and longest running event in San Diego County, makes its return June 10th through July 5th. Closed Mondays and Tuesdays. Visit sdfair.com to plan your happily ever after.
You tell me, whatever you want to eat when we go, pick one item, whatever it is, I'm in.
Yeah, I'll probably have like a fruit salad.
No, you're going to have like a hummus and cucumber.
Yeah, that sounds good, actually.
It will be on a stick. And
yeah,
Might be the only one in
Anything on
line
a
there.
stick
By the way,
is good.
I'll do cucumber and hummus too.
Yeah,
That's a
we'll do
delicious
that together.
combination there.
All right. So you were telling me last night I was on NBC7, Sports
we
Night
did
in
some
San Diego with
TV.
Tony Tripp. Now you've done television. You've done TV. LA, Spectrum, talking Lakers, talking sports.
Yep.
You were telling me off air, and I said, tell me on air. But you started telling me a story that I would never get over the story that you began to tell me about an experience you had on television.
So your wardrobe, you were talking about the socks, right?
Well, yeah,
so
I was
were short.
I was wearing
that.
like short socks. Yeah.
And I said, I'm like, I think I got a good TV story for you. So early on, this is just starting to kind of cover the Lakers when I was up in LA. And Spectrum Sportsnet is where all the Laker games are on. They got their own channel
it's
there.
like the regional network.
Exactly, regional network. So occasionally you get an invite. And it was like, hey, we're going to do our show. The show is live at 6:00. Get there at 4.
LA.
Prep.
Yeah, could be late. Yeah.
Do a little quick little makeup, whatever they do. And then you go on at 6. I'm like, all right, perfect. So I get there at 4:00.
Yeah.
Exactly kind of the time they told me to go on. So I get there at 4. And you bring your suit with you and you just kind of, you change when you're there, everything else. So I get there and I go to the back of my car and I'm looking at my jacket.
Yeah.
Like, inside of the hanger here,
feels
where the
light.
pants. Yeah, like where the pants here, right? The jacket's perfect. Great jacket. You got your dress up shirt as well. I got the tie hanging on the thing. I'm going to need some pants.
You
to go
didn't
with
have
this.
pants.
I need the pants to go with this.
Pants are a huge part of a wardrobe.
So 4:00. And again, this is early on here. So when you get a chance, you get to go on Spectrum.
Great opportunity.
This up.
Yeah.
So I didn't bring my pants with me. So, and I don't think I actually knew I didn't have the pants until I went
inside
to the dressing room and then realized now I'm panicking. Probably like 4:08,
panic.
4:07, starting to panic. So I get in my car. I go back to my car. I don't tell anybody anything. Tell everyone hey, these Fox, be right back, guys. You guys good? We got Lakers today, right? Talk about it. Go in my car and I start looking. I'm like, all right, where can I go to go buy a new suit?
You can't do that though, can you?
I got no choice here. I literally have no choice here. Like,
did you have jeans?
There's 2 segments that we're going to be doing. One segment's going to be behind the table. The other segment's going to be standing up. Okay. So I go to, there's like a Nordstrom rack not too far.
Oh, that's amazing.
So probably let's say it's 10 minutes away, Nordstrom rack. But you're talking 4:00 in LA, like, El Segundo, that area, it's all that. I get to Nordstrom rack. I find a suit, and to be honest with you, I'm like, hey, this actually fits pretty decent. I'm going to have to run with this. Whatever I have to do, I'm going to go do it. So I go and buy a full suit. I go back. I go to Spectrum. You know what I realized when I got back at Spectrum?
The pants were there.
Brother, the tag that they leave on, she forgot to take it off. Do you know what I'm talking about? The sensor tag?
Yeah. Oh, not the sensor was on your pants?
Tag. It's on the pants.
How'd you get out of the store?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. The sensor tag was on.
So what did you do then?
Looking at the clock now, we're like at 4:40.
You don't have a sensor tag guy that could just take that out?
To go back to Nordstrom Rack. Go back to Nordstrom Rack. Have to go get the tag pulled off. I'm hurrying back. I was supposed to do makeup like at 4:30, something like that. I still have told nobody. I'm like, hey guys, I'll just be there. I'll be there. But they already saw me, so they're just assuming like I'm hanging out somewhere around the office.
Oh my gosh.
I eventually get back in. And I probably had when it was all said and done, I'm telling you, 15 minutes at the most I had to spare. I'm definitely fearing my life. And I remember going on and we go to one of the commercial breaks and one of the gals, she actually does now Prime Video, but she also does Spectrum. Allie Clifton does a great job reporting the NBA. I'm like, Allie, do you know what just happened over the last hour? She's like, what are you talking about? And I told her the whole story. She's like, that's not possible. I'm like, oh no, that's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
That is an insane story. Here's my question. Did you consider once you had the security tag on there to just go with it? Would there have been a way to hide it?
If it wasn't so obvious, yes.
Right on there.
But brother, imagine now, not only do you have pants on, but there's a sensor tag.
That almost looks worse than not even wearing pants.
Dude, I'd rather go no pants.
Story.
I think I'd rather go no pants than
have the security sent. That's
so
insane.
But by the time I got on and they hit live, we were good to go.
I think the moral of the story is bring pants.
Triple check
next time.
What you got in your car.
I mean, there's some scary things. Everyone's had that work story where it's like something played out and I
was like, that's it. That's my career. It's over. It's done right here.
The end of the career. All right. So we've got just Padres and Dodgers tonight. Just game one of this 3-game series. Just that tonight to kick off a 3-game series at Petco Park. Amazing pitching.
Give me Michael King's line.
9. I'll say 6 innings. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks,
6
5
strikeouts.
strikeouts. Do you agree?
I like it.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
And they'll win that game if that happens.
Yeah.
6 innings,
position.
2 runs. The Padres will win that game tonight.
But not because of the big guys, because of Gavin Sheets, Andujar.
We'll take that.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Whoever wins
We'll take that. Tatis homers tonight. All right. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio. Heard that 46 times.
Yeah.
SportsSD.com or the iHeartRadio app. For Brent and Alan, I'm John. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Peace.